your bold, best life. Join others who found a bright, bold future. Go to timetobebold.org. Help is here. Go to timetobebold.org today.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean "I've got your back." Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Now loose puck, and Martone's backhand is saved by Anderson. Shot on the goal line, and what a save by Jacob Slavin.
Anderson got about 60% of it. That puck might have even been a third over the goal line, and Slavin saved the goal.
A minute 12 left. Now Svechnikov, a little wrist shot. Stahl banks it in, he scores! A power play goal! The captain at the side of the net, and the Canes have quieted the Philadelphia crowd. It's 1-0 Carolina.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Hi, I'm Adam Gold. That's Max Gorin. You survived the week so far. Well, it's not over yet. Nods. Max is just nodding.
One more day left.
Are you here Monday?
Yeah.
So 2 more days left.
We got the weekend in between.
We do. We will have one more hockey game because we have to win 4. Although, I do recall Mark Lazarus of The Athletic, who covers the Blackhawks, but also covers the sport nationally for that outfit, during Game 1 of this series, tweeting out Canes in 1. So we got a lot of stuff to do. Last night, Hurricanes took a commanding 3-0 lead in the series with my opinion, a game that could have turned out differently had Philadelphia gotten a goal or 2 that they probably deserved early. But that's why you pay a goaltender. Frederik Andersen made a couple of great saves, kept the puck out. The first save he makes on Travis Konechny is a game changer because I actually think that tightened Philly up when they got to those opportunities because they hit 2 posts in the first 3 minutes. Andersen made 2 very good saves early, and even though Philly was, I thought the better team in the first period, Carolina ended up with a lead. And when you do that, and look, Hurricanes fans have been on the other side of that in the past. It's been a minute since that's happened, really, but, Carolina's been on the other side. Basically, we lived that almost night in and night out during the Bill Peters era. It's like, why does Carolina always look so good and we're losing? Well, Carolina's level of skill was never high enough. And I think in some ways that kind of describes Philadelphia. I think they have a lot of good players, but I don't think they have a lot of good top-end players. They have a couple. And they're missing one. Owen Tippett not being there is definitely an impact. Anyway, the Hurricanes got away with, I thought, a relatively pedestrian start and then leaned all over Philadelphia with special teams. It was a blast to go through that game. Shane Willis joined me on the podcast last night. We're actually going to bring you that conversation coming up next hour. We got a lot of stuff to do. Max, did you enjoy the game last night?
Of course.
Yeah. Were you nervous at all watching that first period?
Not really nervous. It was just more like waiting for something to break through, but I wouldn't really say nervous is the word.
Well, I mean, nervous probably isn't the right word, but I thought Carolina was looking to fall behind.
I was impressed with Philadelphia's start.
They played very well.
Yeah, they started really well in game 2 as well. So they showed that they have the propensity to do that. But when they didn't get the goal, and when especially late in that period when Slavin saved the puck off the goal line, I was like, all right, it's going to be a struggle for for Philadelphia to break through. And Frederick Anderson just keeps doing his thing, man. I don't know if we have just finally reached his prime in the postseason at age 36 after he had his worst regular season of his career, but I'm not going to be upset about it. And if he seems to have found something, so do you think he's gonna play tomorrow?
Yes.
Because he's going to have like 2 weeks off if they win.
I don't see the argument for him to not play tomorrow. I don't see the argument for him to not play.
He's been too good to not play.
And 19 shots on goal yesterday, so especially in the second and third periods, the workload was not heavy. I mean, if that's a 30-save performance, I think you can go, all right, Brandon Bussey. But I thought Freddie did his work early. And he had, obviously you have to make some saves, throughout the game. And I think Philly only had 7 of their shots on goal in the first period. But I thought the bulk of his really strenuous work came early. Yeah, it was huge for Carolina that he came up with the saves. And, I highlighted a whole bunch of things that we'll get into and you'll hear from some of the players here in a minute. But the Travis Konechny chance down the left that happened like in the first minute and a half of the game. Jalen Chatfield kind of caught not realizing that Konechny was behind him. Diagonal pass. Konechny comes in all alone. He's had essentially 2 breakaways in the last 2 games, and Anderson got them both with the blocker. He got the blocker, and then it goes off the outside of the post. Then Porter Martone has right down the middle, maybe a shift, 2 shifts later, hits the junction of the crossbar and the right post. That could have been a goal. Both of those could have been goals. Then the save on Alex Bump after the pass from Porter Martone, which I actually thought was the right play. I could certainly see wanting Martone to shoot it, but, Bump has more goal open net to shoot at. He just kind of shot it back in the direction of Anderson, and Freddie got over. There were 3 of those chances. The Slavin clear off the goal line after the Jordan Stahl goal had made it 1-0 was huge for Carolina to get out of that period in which they were not the better team. For them to get out of that period with a 1-0 lead was, it's like found money. It's like looking down on the sidewalk. Look at that. There's a $50 bill. Holy cow. Anybody claim this? Nobody claimed it? Mine.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That's what, to me, that's what that first period was like. And sometimes we get mesmerized by, hockey does this. We get mesmerized by the scoreboard. And I get it. The score matters the most. But I watched that period going, man, Carolina's going to have to play better than this because this ain't it. But they led 1-0. And the Hurricanes, for a long time, have been the team that lost those games when they outplayed the opposition. Because they didn't have the ability to finish, or maybe ability is not the right word. All of these guys are capable of finishing. But it always seems like we would run into that goalie that kept the puck out all day. And right now, Freddie Anderson is that goalie. It has been a tremendous run. We're going to talk to Martin Biron, former Buffalo Sabres and Rangers goalie. We'll talk to him about it now at Sirius XM. And I know he's excited because the Sabres and Canadiens are going to play a great series. I think Buffalo is going to win that series. Shane Willis is going to join us. Greg Wyshynski was in Philadelphia for the game last night. We'll talk to him about all the penalties. Okay, we should just start so we can get to this sound here.
Let's get it started.
We're just talking, and anytime Gold wants to start the show, it'd be fine.
Let's get it started in here.
All right, so let me start here with the Flyers head coach, Rick Tocchet, on the whistles that were, all over the game last night.
Yeah, I don't really talk about officials. Obviously we were frustrated. Listen, I'm not going to, make a comment on that. You guys saw some of the stuff. I don't know. We had nine penalties. I don't know. So that's a lot of penalties. And we just got to understand too. You're in a scrum. you take a punch in the mouth and just don't do anything. Just take the power play. If you're going to go in, like I told you guys, you're going to go in and fight. If you're not going to fight, then get out of there. So a little inexperience from us in a couple of the scrums.
All right. I'm not really sure what Rick Tocchet is getting at there. Did he feel like Philly was somehow the aggrieved party in this game?
I don't know. I feel like at this point he's just got to be grasping at straws because they're effectively against the wall and the season's basically over.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. Carolina could lose to Philadelphia on tomorrow night. I don't think they will. Yes, Philadelphia there were 9 penalties. There were 9 Carolina power plays. Carolina was 2 for 9 on the power play. But some of that power play time happened when the game was well over. And honestly, Philly deserved those penalties that happened late. I thought, and I said this, if you wanted to go back and look through my timeline, I thought that game was officiated horrendously against both teams. I thought we were watching playoff hockey. I thought that, a little bit of this stuff is, it's just playoffs. That's what I keep hearing. It's the playoffs. It's supposed to be hard. I remember, was it Dallas, Minnesota in the first round? There were all sorts of shenanigans, like heavy late hits, and they let them go. I'm like, that's exactly what the playoffs is supposed to be. Like, unless it really impacts a scoring chance or something like that, I thought we're just letting them go. Last night, they called 4 penalties in the first period. I swear I wouldn't have called any of them against both teams.
Someone needs to let these officials know that it is, in fact, the playoffs right now.
And that's what I said on Twitter. Like, when do the playoffs start? Because we're watching. I thought it wasn't even regular season penalties. I thought we were watching preseason penalties. In my opinion, the first penalty, Travis Konecny throws himself to the ice. Like, it's such a dive. Get out of here. I'm not rewarding that. I thought it was a pretty critical penalty because Carolina ends up scoring on the Andrei Svechnikov 4-on-3 goal. But Freddie Anderson, I thought, kind of initiated the contact and flopped. Like, why are you calling that? Are people paying attention? And maybe by that point, the officials tried to get control of the game, but you lost control of the game. And look, I just think it was a poorly officiated game from the start. You really awarded a 5-on-3 to Philadelphia because you screwed up a call? Because Jarvis, this is after Carolina makes it 2-1 on this Chatfield shorthanded goal. Carolina gets another shorthanded chance. And Seth Jarvis is driving, doing what he does, lowering his shoulder, getting to the front of the net. And Jamie Drysdale commits a holding penalty to negate the scoring chance. No big deal. It's a penalty. And then after the whistle, Travis Konecny comes from behind and cross-checks Jarvis twice. So on the second cross-check, Jarvis's arm comes back and the stick hits Konecny up high. Okay, if you're going to send Jarvis for that, that's fine. But how did that happen? It happened because he was cross-checked after the whistle twice, and that wasn't called, and Rod could not believe it. Like, are you people watching the game? Like, I hated almost everything that they called last night.
I don't even know if I've seen in any game a bench minor called just for arguing with the official. Regular season, playoffs.
It's been a minute. I have not seen it for a long time.
In my viewing experience, cannot remember ever seeing that. And to call it on the coach for dissenting on a call in the playoffs like that, I think is absolutely crazy.
It literally stunning. And guess what? It didn't matter. Philadelphia's. It's funny. The more you listen to what the national people, Philadelphia's power play is terrible. It's terrible. I mean, it was bad all year. This is not a bulletin. They were last in the league on the power play. Except when you got a 5-on-3 and you can't find a shot until the very end of a minute 15 of 5-on-3, that probably isn't on you. That's probably on the kill. Carolina's penalty kill at 2 men down has been staggeringly good. We're going to give you numbers on Carolina's penalty kill in a minute. But, man, I hated the way that game was officiated. It took all flow out of the game. Yeah, look, Carolina's not trying to entertain anybody on the road. They're just trying to win a game. Just like Game 3 in Ottawa, they were not trying to entertain anybody. They're happy to play a very boring, drab, low-event road game. Now, this had a little bit more action in it, especially early, but, Carolina's not here to sell concessions for you. They're not there to help your fans stick around. And, in fact, they sent a lot of Philly fans home early because after the Svechnikov goal made it 3-1, there were already people leaving. And then Ehlers, 4.5 minutes later, makes it 4-1, and they were filing out. By the way, shouts to the Hurricanes' social media team for saying Philly's newest library with a picture of the arena. Oh man, they have been absolutely on top. A couple more things I want you to hear, and I've got some numbers that I find absolutely fascinating. First of all, here's the greatest stat: the Hurricanes have won Hurricanes, not the Whalers. The Hurricanes have won 94 playoff games as Hurricanes. Rod Brindamore has either been on the ice or behind the bench as the head coach for 92 of them.
The only two that he wouldn't would have been they played the Bruins
Boston
in 1999.
99. Absolutely.
Weren't they still in Greensboro for that series too?
Absolutely. I was at the 3 games that they played in Greensboro that year. Then Martin Jelena had a chance to force a Game 7. And I think it was Game 6 in overtime. Was it Game 6 in overtime? It might have been Game 4 in overtime. I'm not sure. I was much younger then. And Jelena basically missed an open net. But obviously Marty Jelena was a great Hurricane, and he was part of the 0-2 team that went to the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, let's talk about the best player on the ice last night, the captain, Jordan Staal, who bossed the game.
So I'm wondering, what does that mean to you to be the tone setter in the
tone setter?
Yeah.
No, it's just the game that we've built as a whole, and I'm obviously a part of it. But it's being physical. It's making it hard on them and playing their end and just doing that over and over and over again until they break. And it's been obviously a great start to this series. We've played the way we wanted to play, and it's part of our whole identity as a group, and we want to continue to build on that.
So Staal just basically did everything last night. The power play goal, that whole sequence, by the way, on Carolina's power play when they scored late in the first period, he ragdolled, I believe it was Sean Couturier, behind the net, sort of early in the sequence. Just ragdolled him, going for a puck. Like, honestly, if they wanted to, some of the stuff they called, and they allowed that, because I thought that you could have called that interference, because Staal wasn't playing the puck. He just completely, eliminated Couturier from the play, and then went and got the puck. Yes, the puck is there, whatever. If they would have called a penalty on that, I would have been like, all right, I see it. And ultimately, it gets recycled a couple of times, and he gets the puck off the wall and just kind of shovels it through Dan Vladar for 1-0. But all of that is physicality from Staal. Then he's a huge part of Carolina's penalty kill, including the 5-on-3 that Philly had in the second period. And he also makes the pass across to Jalen Chatfield for the goal. Of course, he wasn't the only one that made the play. The entire play really was created by Jordan Martinook after Carolina loses that faceoff. And this is after the Taylor Hall penalty. And Philly is up in arms. Should have been a major. Honestly, I ain't sure it should have been a penalty. But, okay, I get it. It looks bad. Travis Sanheim, who was already going down at the time, and it wasn't like it was from behind. It was from the side. But I get it. It looks bad. I don't really think Taylor Hall did much there. But regardless, they call it. Carolina's got to kill it off. They lose the faceoff. But Jordan Martinook wins it because he dives and chips the puck out. And I'm really not sure. I guess it was Jamie Drysdale who tried to keep it in. I'm really not sure what he was doing because at that point, you just can't give up a scoring chance. It's 1-1. You have a chance on a power play to get back in front of the game. You can't give up, especially to Carolina. And Stahl easily gets to the puck, and it's a 2-on-1. And I don't know what Trevor Zegras was doing. Not much. He's not a defender, so I get it. And the pass across the Chatfield, he just buried back bar. Boom. It's 2-1. And then craziness happened after that with the 5-on-3. But, man, Jordan Martinook made such a great play, and he talked about one of the things that has given Carolina an edge.
We've been in games like this before, and I think you get into the intermission, everybody takes a deep breath, and you try and diffuse a couple situations with the refs, and then you go out and play. And I felt like our third period was textbook. It was exactly what we wanted to do, playing with the lead and kind of dictate the play.
That was the best period they played. The first period was the worst period they played. They got a little bit better in the second. My read, and I started the podcast with this last night. Let me get to my notes. Didn't love Carolina through 40 was what I wrote down. And I hated them through 20. They were a little bit better in the second period, but somehow they led 2-1. Part of that is Philadelphia is not that good. They just don't have enough firepower to really hurt you. And if their best players, the Zegrases, by the way, his goal early in the second period was gorgeous. I mean, the ability to contort your body to be able to put that shot where it was underneath the bar. I mean, Anderson maybe could have had it, but it was a great shot on a rebound try. So Zegras has a high level of talent. I think Porter Martone will be that guy. He's clearly not quite what he was at the beginning of the playoffs. But they don't have a ton more. They really don't have a ton of additional skill. Travis Konechny's best offensive days, I think, are a little bit behind him. And now he's basically trying to be Brad Marchand more than anything else. And it's kind of funny. I mean, Konechny's a nice player. He's a nice player, but he's really more of a middle six option at this point, and he's got to be their everything, and he's not. Yeah. They don't have good enough talent.
Watching him try to go at Keandre Miller at the end of the game, and Keandre's just standing there smiling, laughing at him. I mean, I think that kind of sums up where this series is at this point. Because, man, it was getting pretty funny at the end there.
All right, a couple of things I wanted to bring up about the just some numbers in the series. Here's Philadelphia's power play. It wasn't yesterday for the series. I'm sorry. I want to do. Was it yesterday? No, I guess it's Philadelphia's power play for the series. We've had 3 games. Their power play, 5-on-4. Forget about the 5-on-3, okay, which obviously they didn't do anything with. This is their 5-on-4 power play for the series. 24 minutes and 9 seconds on the ice, okay? Shot attempts, 15-11. They have taken 15 shot attempts. Carolina's taken 11. On Philly's power play, shots on goal, 6 for Philadelphia, 9 for Carolina. It gets worse. Goals for, 1 apiece. Expected goals for, 0.92 for, 1.04 against. Okay? High danger chances. 4 for Philadelphia, 5 for Carolina. This is on Philly's power play. Now, we could say that, well, Philly's power play is bad, and that is accurate. But Carolina's penalty kill right now is in one of those places. They are 35 out of 37. It stretches back to the Ottawa series. in which they were 24 out of 25, I think. 20 out of 21 in that series. They are now 35 out of 37. It is 94.6%. 94.6%. They have allowed 2 power play goals. They have scored 1 shorthanded. At 5-on-3 against, which is now going back to the Ottawa series, there have been 5 stints where Carolina has been 5 times in 7 games. Carolina has been 2 players down. 4 minutes and 51 seconds. 5 shot attempts allowed. That's it. In nearly 5 minutes of 5-on-3 power play. They have not allowed a goal at 5-on-3. Carolina has had their own 5-on-3 and have not scored either. And I don't know, maybe it's just harder in the playoffs, but it has been absolutely tremendous. And that's why Carolina's ahead 3-0 in the series. The penalty kill has been great. Freddie Anderson has made big plays, and they have gotten the Slavin play, sweeping the puck off the goal line after it gets through Anderson, or any number of Keandre Miller or Sean Walker plays. Now, Carolina's gotten awesome play from so many different spots, and I think that we saw, for the first time, we saw the impact that Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis can have in the game. I thought they were really good last night. I thought Andre was exceptional last night. I think the best player on that line. But this game belonged to the captain, Jordan Martinook, and to me, Freddie Anderson was just especially early when he had to be. Greg Wyshynski was at the game. We will talk to him about the officiating, about where Philly is at this point, which is probably 1 win away from summer. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
In the transfer portal world of college basketball, every answer asks another question. NC State gets a point guard, but he's 6'1". They need more size. Carolina gets a new coach, but he's got NBA experience. Will the college kids listen to him? Even Duke needs a little bit of size and goes to a Belmont transfer. Everybody still has questions.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
We've made it to Friday, so maybe that means it's time for some motorcycle therapy for you too this weekend. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Law Tigers, and kicking off a weekend might mean a new adventure on the open road, or maybe there's a charity ride you're participating in, or maybe it's just a beautiful day and you want some time to unwind. The folks at Law Tigers understand because they're riders too. They're 100% part of the community, so they also know what it feels like to get into a wreck on your motorcycle. Now, that's definitely never the ideal situation, but accidents can happen, and it's important to remember to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. It's not just what they do, but it's who they are, so they know the value of your bike, your gear, the investment that you've put into it. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible, so your case evaluations are always free at Law Tigers, and they won't get paid until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank. NA member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
I had been taking probably 800 milligrams of opioids a day, which is an insane amount.
David is in recovery from an addiction to prescription opioids.
Eventually, my whole life began to unravel. I realized that I needed help. And in recovery, I found my purpose. Addiction is a disease of isolation and loneliness. There is a way out. You don't have to do this alone.
If you or someone you know is struggling, there is hope. Recovery is possible. Visit cdc.gov/RxAwareness.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. Hurricanes 1 win away from round 3. And I'm not really surprised we're at this spot, even though Philadelphia came in playing really well, coming off the series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I went into the series thinking I think Ottawa was better. I think Philly might be better coached than Ottawa, but I think Ottawa had better personnel. They were banged up on the back end. No Owen Tippett definitely matters. I'm not sure it would have mattered that much. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN, senior NHL writer, was there in the building last night for Carolina's 4-1 win. Are you surprised at where we are in this series at this point?
No, not at all, because I picked the Hurricanes to win in 5. I think the series has trended a little bit more towards a sweep because of Philadelphia's health considerations. Like you mentioned, Tippett out of the lineup. I mean, like, not exactly a guy who's going to take over a series, but certainly someone who has the speed and drive to the net that could at least make a difference offensively. They're missing Noah Cates now, who's maybe their best 200-foot forward. So they're not as good as they were at the start of the series, at least on paper. And then as you watch these games, you know, I thought the first period of Game 3 was very much like the overtime in Game 2, where the Flyers controlled play at 5-on-5. But there wasn't a moment during that stretch where I wasn't like, Carolina's going to score and their momentum is going to be completely broken. And that's exactly what happened in both cases.
Greg Wyshynski is joining us here. I mean, it could have been different. And Rick Tocchet said after the game they could have been up 3-0 after 1. I mean, if they cashed in on all of those chances, yeah, they would have been. Travis Konechny, second game in a row, had the puck on his stick all alone in front of Anderson, couldn't beat the blocker because Freddie got just enough of it. Then it goes off the outside of the post. Porter Martone hits the junction between the crossbar and the right post. And then Alex Bump has a great opportunity, and I think he made it a little easier on Anderson by shooting it back at him. But Anderson did get over to challenge, and he got to him again in the next period. And then you get Jordan Staal just ragdolling. I think it was Sean Couturier early in the power play toward the end of the period, and then ultimately scores the goal. And I thought that just sunk the Flyers because they played a good first period, much better than Carolina, and they were down 1-0.
It sunk them, but the real sinking was in the second period on that Taylor Hall situation where the Flyers are feeling pretty good about life. They're thinking Taylor Hall's going to get a 5-minute major for his hit on Travis Sanheim, and then it gets reduced to a minor penalty. So that's a kick in the gut right there. Yep. And then 10 seconds later, they get scored on shorthanded from Chatfield from Staal, and so that to me was the devastating moment of the game where this gigantic momentum swing that looked like it was going to happen ended up not happening. And then, Martinook makes a great play on Drysdale at the point, and then off they go. And And at that point, I think it was pretty much game, set, match.
What did you think of that call?
Oh, I thought it was fine. I mean, like, the issue on the play is that Sanheim materially changes his position before the hit. It's not a hit Hall should probably make because the puck is clear of the player at that point. But the impact and the potential injury on the play comes from Sanheim's body positioning. So, I think there was enough mitigating circumstance to warrant it just being dropped down to a minor penalty. But I could see the Flyers' point, and I could see Sanheim's point as to why it shouldn't be when you consider, the inherent danger within the hit.
Greg Wyshynski, ESPN senior NHL writer, is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. It certainly looked terrible, right? So I get it. And Hall's off of his skates, which helps it look bad. I kind of think he was trying to almost protect Sanheim at that point, but I could be wrong. But here's the thing. You said that the puck was well gone. I would promise that if we looked at the play that Tyler Kleven hit Alexander Nikishin, the puck is further away from Nikishin at that point than the puck was from Travis Sanheim. I thought that hit was late, but I get why they didn't call a penalty on that. I thought the hit was fine. Kleven's hit, which was a better hit, I think, than certainly the way it looked, than the Hall hit. I wasn't sure that the Hall hit should have been a penalty. I will allow for a 2-minute. But right before then, at the blue line, Sean Couturier, well after the puck is gone, hit Jacob Slavin at the blue line. I'm like, wait a second, we're just that now the playoffs have begun, and then the playoffs stopped because they called a lot of, I thought, very, very questionable penalties last night. And I'll allow the Hall play to be a 2-minute minor. I didn't think it was major, but there were a lot of questionable penalties called last night.
Sure, and I think part of the problem for the Flyers last night, and as was noted by Rick Tocchet, their coach, was not understanding how the game was being called and engaging in stuff after the whistle and trying to goad Hurricanes players into stuff and, instead of taking a punch and skating away, retaliating, and then all of a sudden it's a 4-on-4. So, there was a lack of recognition by an inexperienced team last night on how that game was playing out. And, it ended up playing obviously very much into the Hurricanes' favor, scoring 2 power play goals. And the more, time on the penalty kill they get, the better it's going to be since it's so good. And it really sort of, isn't the kind of game that the Flyers wanted to play.
Greg Wyshynski is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. I mean, I don't know what stock you put into natural stat trick numbers, and sometimes they're a little wonky when you look at them, certainly within a specific game. But for the series, Carolina has been more dangerous on Philadelphia's power play than Philadelphia has. And statistically, they have outshot Philadelphia on Philly's 5-on-4 power plays. The 5-on-3 was obviously atrocious, but Carolina's been 2 men down almost 5 minutes in the entire postseason. They've only allowed 5 shot attempts in 4 minutes and 51 seconds of 3-on-5 penalty kill.
Yeah, it's been their bread and butter. I mean, ever since Rod became head coach, and it's easy to see why when you can roll out Slavin, when you can roll out Martinook and Stahl, the way that they do, what's been kind of called within the league a power kill, where they're looking for offensive opportunities and jumping on them when they present themselves. So it's, the Flyers' power play is pretty sexless.
Terrible.
It's terrible, and there's nobody really quarterbacking it, and no one really knows what they want to do with the puck. And then, once you establish that, you're playing right into the Hurricanes' hands.
Greg Wyshynski is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I mean, we all went into the playoffs not knowing what we were going to get from Frederik Andersen. I mean, I've been saying it for months. I just say if Carolina's goaltending is reasonably good, I like their chances. Reasonably good doesn't even come close to what Frederik Andersen is doing. You're in press rooms all over the league. People got to be going, what's going on here? But we didn't see this ever for 82 games.
Well, no, but I mean, he's shown in the past that he can put together a good string of games in the playoffs. The question then becomes, what happens when he does have that dud?
Right.
And then also, what's his body going to do? Like, which has always been the real issue with Freddie in the playoffs, which is the durability issue. And that's obviously, like, he's their MVP right now. He's been the best goalie in the playoffs. I think the overtime effort that he had in Game 2 is the reason they win that game.
Yep.
But if you're talking about perception of it, the numbers are great, but I think everybody's just kind of like hoping that it continues the trend in the right direction, because we've seen in the past, like, 2 bad games and all of a sudden the backup's playing, or Rod's talking about his health status for the next series. So we'll see where it goes. But right now, obviously, it's been a huge part of why they've not lost a game yet in the playoffs. Yeah,
but then in Game 2, he delivers the hit to Travis Sanheim. How does he not? He should get credit for a hit. They don't give goalies hits, do they?
Maybe they do somewhere off the stat site somewhere, but yeah, no, they don't count hits for goalies.
And he flopped last night. I didn't. This is where I really wish. I mean, I hate replay, but if Rod Brindamore had his way when we would review quickly, was that a penalty? Like, I don't think. Who was it? Was it? I forget who skated into Anderson. Anderson, to me, kind of stuck his leg out and then went down. I thought he bought a call. And I would love to see those things out of the game. I would just like to see the game played straight up. I thought Travis Konechny threw himself to the ice in the first period. Like, I'd love to see the embellishment, like, out of the game, because I think the game would be better, and we don't need that many power plays.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen. It's a tactic, and it's a good tactic, and the ones that can pull it off are some of the more valuable players in the league in drawing penalties, and the ones who can't, will get called for diving and not give their team any advantage.
Well, I guess that's true. I just wish if we could eliminate it, which I thought they were trying to do, then I thought we would see less of it. But I guess we see it in every sport. I watch a lot of soccer. We see it all the time. We watch basketball. People are always trying to draw calls. It is what it is. Concerns about Carolina at all going forward?
Nothing much.
Certainly not this round.
I was really impressed with the short work they made of Ottawa. I thought that series was going to go a lot longer.
Same.
I've been saying since the beginning of the playoffs that, like, it's the deepest collection of offensive players that Rod's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about the way the lineup is set up, I mean, obviously they found something really special with Hall and Blake and Stankoven, and the Aho line I thought was really good in Game 3. I thought they were, like, really on their game. And then they do the thing that I love when teams do this, which is to put an accomplished scorer with your 2 best checkers. The Devils used to do this all the time with John Madden and Jay Pandolfo, where they'd stick, like, a skill player like Alexander McGillney with them. And then it's awesome because the 2 checking guys are creating space and getting turnovers, and then you have this guy like, Ehlers finishing chances. So it's 3 lines you have to worry about for the Hurricanes if you're an opponent, and that's not always been the case, obviously, with them.
Yeah, I mean, Martinook makes the little chip at center ice because he knows that Ehlers is flying down the left side, and that ultimately that's where everybody went home. It was a quiet building after that. You could have written everything right there with about 12 and a half minutes to go. Greg Wyshynski. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. I guess if you're going to cover the East. I don't know if you're covering the East or the West, but I hope to see you soon.
I don't know yet either. I do know, though, that it will be when does the Eastern Conference Final start? July, based on the amount of time between what could be the end of the Hurricane series and the end of the other series. I was joking with Eric. I saw Eric Tulsky last night after the game. I'm like, have you booked a vacation, like a quick vacation, like going to Bora Bora for a week in between these 2 rounds?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Literally, if Carolina does finish it tomorrow, no series. I think will any series be? No, Vegas, Anaheim will have played 3 games. The other series will have yet to play their 3rd game. I don't think the Eastern Conference Finals, if that goes the distance, and I anticipate Montreal, Buffalo going deep. I don't think the Eastern Conference Finals will start till the 20th of May at the earliest, and we're talking about 11 days. It's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah, it's crazy. But hey, listen, the more rest, put Freddie in a hermetically sealed cocoon, and go from there.
Yeah, if somebody needs to, they could have surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't know. Hey, Greg, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate your time.
Anytime. Thanks.
You got it. Greg Wyshynski here on the Adam Gold Show. When we return, one-timers, you can go to the chat because we're live on YouTube, just like the podcast is live on YouTube. We had a lot of people last night jumping on, listening to me and Shane Willis chop it up after the Hurricanes went 3-0 up. You can go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, subscribe, like, enter your question in the chat. You can share. What else can people do when they go there, Max?
Yeah, subscribe, like, comment. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much most of it.
That's all you need to do.
You could dislike, but we'd prefer if you didn't.
No, don't do that. No, we don't want that. No negativity. We'll do all of that in one-timers next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Do we have a deal for new customers right now? Bet $5, win that bet, get $150 in bonus bets. That's right. Pick something you can win and then take FanDuel's money and then win even more. Turn 5 into $150 just for getting started. FanDuel makes it easy to get closer to the action, player props on your favorite stars, all the tools you need to back them up. All you got to do, go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, for the NBA, especially in the playoffs. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Carolina Complete Health. From neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealthnc.com.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
You don't build a tradition overnight. You earn it.
The Coca-Cola 600's underway.
This is a crown jewel race. It's a 600-mile salute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
It's doing what we love because of the sacrifices that were made by our military heroes.
If you win this one, you'll carry it with you forever.
It's NASCAR's toughest test of man and machine.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My Alzheimer's diagnosis
was hard. But early detection allowed us to take control of the situation.
Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association.
This is Adam Gold.
That's Frederick Anderson joking, believe it or not. Like, it's not great comedic timing.
Right.
But that is
It's
Anderson
there.
joking. You can tell. He's like, I'm not going to play your little games, but I know what you're doing.
Like when he was getting his award last season and he was on the ice and it just looked like he was walking through the park.
The Adam Gold Show.
Somebody's on a Phil Collins kick today.
Every day is a Phil Collins kick.
Max Gorin producing. I am Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. I am ready to answer questions, Max. Let's do one-timers.
All right. I have a question that actually we kind of somewhat answered
All right.
earlier, but maybe to a larger extent than previously planned. I had asked if we would see Brandon Bussey in the previous series. I'd asked, is there a chance we saw him in Game 4 tomorrow? Are we going to see Brandon Bussey at all in this playoff run?
I mean, I'd like to say yes, but at this point, there's no reason. I'm pretty sure that Rod Brindamore is going to hand the crease back to Freddie Anderson tomorrow. And he might have actually, I know they met the media earlier today. So maybe we've already determined, I'm not sure what, but is there a reason to not play Frederick Anderson at this point? I mean, it's a full day off in between games.
And we know that if they win, it's going to be a long set of days off after that.
So right now, there's no reason to not play Frederick Anderson. So until there's a reason, I don't think you do anything.
All right, this was a question from Brian in the YouTube chat. Who would we rather play in the Eastern Conference Final, the Sabres or the Canadians? He said, I'm thinking Sabres because Dobish goalied the Canes twice in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think Jakub Dobish isn't, vintage Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, he's playing really well. It doesn't matter to me. I think both teams are really, really good. Carolina could lose to either. I think Buffalo, I'd like to say Buffalo's a little bit more physical, but the Montreal Canadiens team that I've watched, I think is playing a very physical brand of hockey. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I don't think it matters as long as Carolina plays their game. The one thing, the difference between the two for me is that I think Buffalo, top to bottom, is a better team than Montreal. But I think Montreal's high end is higher end than Buffalo, except for Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah, Cole Caulfield, I mean.
And Suzuki.
His goal-scoring ability in particular, though.
And Slafkovsky and Demidov and Hudson. Their super skill is better than Buffalo's super skill.
I was among those that had questions about when they signed Slafkovsky to that contract extension, and he's fully paid that off, and it's paying dividends for them now. That's the thing in the NHL now. You got to pay the guys early, and it almost always works out if you have good talent evaluation. So, I mean, look, they're both really good teams, but they're going to be playing a very rested Carolina team, assuming that this series ends in the next couple of games.
I think Carolina is better than both teams. Right? I mean, I really do, but I've said that all year, and I just think it doesn't matter. Carolina still has to play. They'll have to play better than they're playing now, and I trust they will. I think they're doing what they have to do to get past Philadelphia, which might not be that much.
All right, so if the series were to end either tomorrow in Game 4 or potentially Monday at home in Game 5, would you consider the long layoff between rounds 2 and 3 to be an advantage or a disadvantage for Carolina if they were to head to the Eastern Conference Final?
I think it's an advantage. I mean, it can't be an advantage for a team that has to play physical, taxing games and risk injury. Because every time you play, you risk injury. Carolina, what are Carolina's injuries going to be if they wrap the series up tomorrow by 9:00 p.m. Eastern time? what are their injuries?
We're celebrating. We're hitting the town if that's the case.
Paper cut, right? I don't know, hurting your wrist on a pitching wedge from 140. What are
140?
I
guess if you're in the NHL, you could probably hit a pitching wedge 140.
I used to be able to hit a pitching wedge.
That's a thin one for me. Thin to win it.
My son's he's 17 from like 150 sitting wedge. He's got a gap wedge from 140. It's disgusting, Max. It's disgusting.
I don't want to talk about disgusting golf because I played the other day and I was 11 over through 14 holes and I still shot a 90. It was absolutely disgusting.
This time, I'm sorry for that. I have not picked up a golf club in a minute, so
it's going to be that season. Hey, we're going to have some time between games here coming up potentially. So maybe we need to go play some golf. The Truist Championship. Well, speaking of golf, Truist Championship just played Thursday. Who you got winning the Truist Championship and coming in with some momentum for the PGA Championship next week?
I would like to see Tony Finau. Rory McIlroy was 1 under yesterday, 17 pars, then he birdied the last hole. I'd like to see Tony Finau. I think when Tony Finau's playing well, I think everybody's happy. We just like Tony. He's a happy,
I like Big Tone
looking guy. But it's not Rory. It's like next week is the tournament I want Rory to win. I want Rory to win all of the majors for the rest of the year. We might talk about golf later on. Anyway, next hour, Shane Willis, who joined me on the podcast last night.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
August 11th is National 811 Day. 811 is the first step to getting your buried underground utilities like gas, electric, or internet lines located. Having these lines marked before digging helps keep you, your family, and your neighborhood safe. Play it safe when you plan on digging and call or click 811 3 working days before you dig. Learn more at nc811.org. Sponsored by North Carolina 811 and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with the station.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. Boston is currently trading at 14% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out $667 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PASS to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
It's the third power play of the night for the Philadelphia Flyers. Stahl will fight for it with Couturier. It'll come free, but a diving play made here by Martinook, and Stahl sprung in. Stahl across for Chatfield, and he scores! Short-handed! Jalen Chatfield has put Carolina in the lead. His first of the playoffs, and Carolina goes up 2-1.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorham producing the program. That was, of course, Mike Maniscalco, Jalen Chatfield's shorthanded goal. Kind of a dagger. The real dagger was Andrei Svechnikov making it 3-1. Power play goal to start the third period. Then Nick Ehlers making it 4-1. At that point, I thought the 3-1 goal ended Philadelphia's night. They were at that point we're down. They're not scoring three times on Carolina. I'm not sure they've got 3 goals in them in a given game. Carolina still 7 games in has yet to give up more than 2 goals in a single game. In fact, Carolina's given up 8 goals in 7 games total, and one of those goals was an extra attacker. 6-on-4 goal, right? In Game 4 of the Ottawa series. I think it was a 6-on-4 goal late where...
after the first empty net.
After the first empty net goal.
Yeah.
I think that was the goal that made it 3-2. Then Carolina tacked on another empty net goal. In fact, in the series, they haven't allowed a lot of 5-on-5 goals at all in the playoffs because...
They haven't allowed a lot of goals in general.
Right. 8 goals total. Ottawa scored a 6-on-4 goal, a power play goal. They had 1 power play goal in the series, and they only had 5 goals for the series, so 3 goals at even strength. And one of Philly's goals, Philly's goal last night was during a delayed penalty, so it was 6-on-5. I never saw the penalty they would have called on Jackson Blake. I just assume it was garbage because the officials were not good last night. They have announced the 3 finalists for the Hart Trophy, Max. You want to guess who they are?
I've already seen it, so I can't.
Then you'll get it right.
I would have gotten it right anyway.
Of course, because we all knew who it was going to be.
We knew it was going to be Kucherov. Yep. We knew it was going to be McDavid, and then Nathan McKinnon.
No question. So. I thought Brandon Bussey might. No, I'm just kidding.
There are some people upset already on social media that Macklin Celebrini didn't get in, and I get it. Like, he was by far the best player on his team, and he was kind of helping carrying them into contention.
100-point guy, yeah.
Maybe if they make it into the playoffs, he gets to be one of the 3 finalists. But I mean, it's hard to knock off those 3 guys. You could easily make the argument they're the 3 best forwards in the NHL.
Right.
So
look, Connor McDavid is a given for every award.
He could win every year, and I don't think that would be a miscarriage of justice.
Right.
It's kind of like it's like LeBron with the MVPs in the NBA. Like, you can't give it to him every year, but in his prime in the late 2000s and early 2010s, you probably could have given it to him every year. It would have been justified.
He's an amazing player. He played in the playoffs with a broken bone in his foot. I mean, we all watched him obviously not be the same. Nathan McKinnon, Nikita. I think Nathan McKinnon should win it. Personally, I think McKinnon should win it. I know Kucherov had a massive year, but I mean, from start to finish, McKinnon and Colorado, they just bossed the whole league, and McKinnon is the driving force behind it. Like, Martin Necas had a 100-point season, and I am taking nothing away from Necas. The reason he's got 100 points is because he's playing next to Nathan McKinnon.
Kind of the same thing we saw with Mikko Rantanen, right? Like, obviously he's still a good player, but your numbers get a little bit inflated when you're playing with Nathan McKinnon on your line. I mean,
no doubt.
It's not necessarily a disrespect to the player. Like, you're just playing with an otherworldly talent. Like, I think was it Zach Cassian who played a year on the line with Connor McDavid, and he put up career numbers and actually had a pretty solid offensive output. It was some kind of just fourth line grinder type of guy that ended up having a good year because you've got the best player in the world passing it to you on the back door. You're gonna score.
Here's a good example of what it can do for you to play with those types of players. Do you remember, I think it was the second year that our old friend Elias Lindholm played in Calgary, and he was playing with Johnny Gaudreau, who was at the height of his, the late Johnny Gaudreau, who was at the height of his powers, and a little slightly younger Matthew Tkachuk. And, I mean, Elias Lindholm was 90 points, right? Now, he's not that player. Nobody ever thought that Elias Lindholm was that type of player. But when you play with elite offensive players, generally, there's going to be, we'll just call it runoff. You're going to get points by accident, and that's really what happened. Now, Lindholm is a very good player. I'd take him here in a minute as a third Carolina center. Holy mac! Not to mention this team needs another righty. That would be awesome if they could somehow figure out a way to get Lindholm. I realize that I've been basically fantasizing about this for the better part of 3 seasons.
I mean, more or less at this point, he'd kind of be like the fourth center with the way that the Canes center depth is. I know, in theory for a succession for Jordan Staal.
Yeah,
after
that's what
he's
it is.
done, that makes sense. But I don't know. At this point of his career, like Elias Lindholm a couple of years ago, I think he would have been a good addition. But I don't know.
Still a good player.
He's still a solid player for sure.
He's not going to be a 65 to 70 point guy.
And the contract is a little rich for my taste.
It was as many contracts as Carolina's got that are dumb team friendly.
That's true. You can afford to have one that's a little more out there.
What does Taylor Hall make? What does Jackson Blake make?
3.3.
Right. What does Logan Stankoven?
Right.
This is why Carolina will not come close to the salary cap next year, the year after that, because all these contracts are long. And Seth Jarvis is literally going to be making half of what he could make almost. Basically, Seth Jarvis is making 65 cents on the dollar for what he could make based on being a 30-point, 30-goal guy, basically a point a game, and he's going to get better, and he's making under 7.5. Just get out of here. Every contract Sebastian Aho is the only player on that team who is making
market value.
Yeah.
And even still, the way the cap's going up and contracts are, even probably still a little bit below.
Yeah.
I think you could make the argument he's a $10 million player.
It's insane where Carolina's cap situation is right now. Did you ever watch that hockey show? It's SDPN or something like that.
Yeah, the Steve Dangle.
Right, it's very good. So they did a 15-minute bit on Jacob Slavin, and they were just guessing. Slavin's under contract. He's got to be making 7 or something. No. And they saw the contract, which is 6.4, and they went, what? What? Because you pay for goals in the NHL. You don't pay for people stopping goals, except we saw what Slavin meant just last night. But Carolina's cap situation is so good. I want to talk about a couple of other things, so let's run it back.
4, 3, 2, 1.
give people just a moment of non-hockey. And by the way, Shane Willis is going to join us in just a little bit. So, the NCAA tournament expanded to 76. Right?
Boo.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a total boo. Before, I hate when we go to the extremes. The game is not going to be ruined. It's not going to fall off the face of the earth in terms of popularity. It's not getting, they didn't make the NCAA tournament better. There are zero arguments to that end. And for me, the only reason to expand this, to mess with what it is, would be, we should make it better. But they didn't make it better, and nobody is arguing that they made it better. They simply made it bigger. And we know why they made it bigger. That's the thing. We all know why. And it's not that there is so much more money involved. There will be more money involved because there are more games involved. So because there are more games, the networks will charge more for advertising. They'll get more money in advertising. There are more commercial positions, and put a pin in that because we're going to get to that. So there will be more money, but there won't be so much more money where it will be so dramatic that we're going to, oh my gosh, we're making so much more money. The only reason why the NCAA tournament expanded from 68 to 76 is so the major conferences will get more teams. Because here was the threat. If you don't, we're going to leave. We're going to do our own thing. Even though it would have been to their own detriment to do that, because the tournament in and of itself isn't only about you. It's about you, but it's about the whole. It's about the romance of it. And we can't ever forget that there is a first day, which is still going to be Thursday, and Friday, same type of deal. Those are still the most dramatic and fun days of the NCAA tournament. That's where people take the day off. That's where they go to Vegas to be there for the first round. They don't care about the first 4 or the first 12, whatever the number is now. So we've already seen the brackets. There will be 4 16 versus 16 games. There will be 2 15 versus 15 games to play into the bracket. Then there will be 13 versus 13s and 12s versus 12s and maybe 11s versus 11s. But there will be 6 of those games, and there will be 6 of the last automatic bid teams in. And frankly,
no 13s versus 13s.
Whatever.
4 12v12s, 2 11v11s, 4 16 versus 16, and 2 15 versus 15.
It's tedious. So remember I said to put a pin in their more commercial time, right? Guess what they're doing? The NCAA has given the networks the green light to have longer commercial breaks.
Oh my God.
Yes! That's exactly what we need!
They're already so long.
We need more ads!
The half times during the tournament are so long. They're so long, you almost forget what game you're watching.
They don't care about us. And I'm not talking about media. I am talking about fans who watch. They do not care. They won't ever care. And here's the thing. They are making a bet, and they are right, that we'll still watch. We'll still put up with it.
Yeah.
We'll hate it, but we'll watch because the games are great. Even if the teams aren't, the games are. There isn't a single team that gets left out of the NCAA tournament today that belongs in it. Not one. If you can't make this field, you don't belong. And we are now allowing an additional dozen teams in.
Shoot, I mean, NC State probably didn't deserve to make it this year.
Carolina didn't last year. They didn't. I would argue neither did San Diego State. But because we have this, we have to. So we're going to have 6 games on Tuesday, and rather than 2, and 6 games on Wednesday rather than 2, and they will be played at 2 different locations, and people will bet on them.
I'm sure one of the 2 will be Dayton still, but I wonder if their second one, if it's going to be like rotating or if it's going to be another kind of permanent home.
I think they're going to sell it.
Opening round.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. They're calling it the opening round. I think they're going to sell it. It'll probably rotate. Dayton will keep theirs probably forever. And I think they'll sell it, but they will probably rotate it, and they should.
Let's do Joel Coliseum in Winston-Salem.
Here's what's funny. I saw a list of potential spots.
Is that one of them?
No North Carolina towns. None. 0. We know the NCAA tournament loves North Carolina, whether it's Raleigh or Charlotte or Greensboro. I mean, they come here a lot. It's like almost every year we seem to have one of the either a first and second round site or a regional.
They rotate around from Greensboro, Charlotte. Yeah. They do Greenville, South Carolina, and then Raleigh. And Raleigh's getting the regional final, semifinal, and final in 2028. And it's going to be Charlotte for first and second rounds next year. I'm interested. Look, there's going to be more games on the Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's always kind of like the anticipation builds up so much. Like, I guess it will be good to have something to watch, but the team quality in those games is just... And I feel bad for the auto qualifiers that have to play in those now, too, although I guess they get a chance now, really, to win when, most of the 16s obviously don't really get that, but it's like there's just teams that don't deserve to play.
No!
Are getting a nod now.
Honestly, there's no good way to do this, because there isn't. But if they were going to do it right, in a just way, they wouldn't make the 16s play the 16s. They would just put those teams in the field. Because honestly, there's a negative, there's a draw, there's a downside to what they're doing is that the 1 seeds and the 2 seeds, you're going to be playing against better teams than you used to. Like, I'll just use this year as an example. I know they didn't have to play in that first 4, but I think we all watched and went, Siena ain't bad. That was a curious opponent for Duke in the first round. Siena looks like they can play. Duke was obviously not the same. Duke was a little bit tight in that game. But you're going to see 1 seeds go up against 16s that can play. And some of these 15 seeds really would be 14 seeds in any other, in a normal year. It's going to make it a little bit more challenging for the teams that have theoretically earned a better, a lesser opponent, if you will. Anyway, one more thing before we break, and Shane Willis is going to join us on the other side. So I don't know how many people have, if you care or not, but John Rahm paid his fine to the DP World Tour. He's going to play 5 events over there, and he's probably going to play a couple of those in the middle of the year because we're coming up in a spot where there's no live golf event. I think, in 2 weeks, I think they're in Virginia, and then there's nothing on live until after the Open Championship. So there's really no place for them to play. So we'll see John Rahm probably play a couple of European Tour events, which is good. Good for them, good for him, all of that. He needs to get back to the to the business of challenging for major championships. But Bryce and DeChambeau, who on one hand talks about wanting to come back to, not necessarily wanting to come back to the PGA Tour, but coming back to the PGA Tour and what I could do for the PGA Tour. And then in the next breath talks about checking egos at the door. Wait a second. You just said what I can do for the PGA Tour, and then they have to check their egos. I would point this out. And I know that Bryson DeChambeau has a YouTube presence that nobody else in golf has. It's the most massive content creator maybe that we have in sports. DeChambeau on Twitter or on YouTube. Full marks for that. But you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't increase television ratings. And while the PGA Tour is fine with, and they're actually going to relax rules for players to do stuff online. Well, they're okay with that. Ultimately, they need you to produce people, produce eyeballs on TV. And Bryson doesn't do that, because if he did that, he would have impacted LIV. Because here's what we know. There's no morning wave or afternoon wave. There's one wave. And they could just show Bryson for 4 hours. And those television ratings are the same that they have always been, which is not good. So Bryson has not meant anything to that tour in terms of TV impact. The only player, there's two players really that move the needle on TV. And it's Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth. That's it. PGA Tour's doing very well. He was also wrong about that. The Tour is averaging more than 3 million viewers a weekend. That's pretty good. There are things about the PGA Tour that could be better, but my gosh, Bryson has a distorted view of the universe. He just does. But if I were the PGA Tour, I would still make it so that Bryson could come back and that Jon Rahm would come back. But they would have to, like Brooks Koepka had to, and Patrick Reed is going to have to sit out a year. I mean, I think those punishments should be there. But I think for Rahm and Bryson, you probably make it more amenable for them to return. They're too good to not have them on your tour. All right, we'll take a break. Shane Willis is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk about last night's 4-1 Hurricanes win. They lead the series 3-0.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
I don't care what you got, just give me that. One goal.
Nikishin, Ehlers, scores on the power play. Verdeen wide open, rebound, and what a save by Anderson.
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Sebastian Aho in, short hit back in, scores! Oh, talk to me, shorty! Carolina!
The Triangle's official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Over 25 years ago, Law Tigers was built for one thing, for riders and by riders. Every time you're out there on the road, they protect what matters most, your freedom, your family, and the ride. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Every time I'm on the bike, I know Law Tigers has my back. LawTigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Jungle Cashword scratch-offs and digital instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play scratch-offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play digital instants on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cash Word from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
I'm Neil, founder of Clay Room. When I found ceramics, I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative. So I set out to open my own studio. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. Now we're molding a creative community.
With the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis, but this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat and I work for Earth Justice. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org.
This is Adam Gold.
From William, what does Jarvie need to do to get going?
Candy, like sour worms.
Oh, for sure. He's probably one of those psychos that likes warheads.
Yeah, you nerds. He would eat those. Yeah, get a whole bag of those, Seth. Go nuts.
Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the ones and twos. All during the playoffs, we're kind of trying to do something a little bit different on the Canes Corner podcast that we do after every Hurricanes game. We go after the post-game show. We got a lot of things to do after the game. Is that we're trying to find cool people to talk with. We've done Mike Commodore, right? We're going to do. We've done Chad LaRose, and for the second time, both following Game 3 wins, we talked with Hurricanes analyst, former 20-goal scorer, Shane Willis. And let's not waste any time because Shane Willis, just like me, we would like to get to bed. Shane Willis, Hurricanes analyst, joins us here on the Canes Corner podcast. I mean, pretty good night for the captain, no?
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at the most difficult game in the series so far, when you go up 3-0 in a stranglehold or you let another team back into it and you're in their building, I guess where else would you turn, Adam, besides your leaders and especially your captain? He comes out tonight physically dominant on the first goal, obviously to create the turnover, but really all night long. He was good in the faceoff circle and just – but when you look across the board, besides the leadership, everyone followed along. It was just another kind of clinical, systematic game by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the power play goal that Stahl scored in a minute. I didn't love Carolina's first 5 or so minutes. They were just chance. Travis Konecny down the left and a stretch pass looked like Jalen Chatfield just kind of lost him behind him. Freddie Anderson has to get the blocker to it. It goes off the post. Then Porter Martone down the middle off the junction between the post and the crossbar. And then Martone. There was a Miller turnover, I thought, in the left corner or the right corner, depending on what your perspective is. And Martone passes at the bump. Freddie gets across. I mean, it could have gone the other way early, and then who knows what happens. But Anderson played his best when he had to early. And then, I don't know. I'm trying to remember who Jordan Stahl ragdolled just to create the reload on the power play. But, I mean, somebody was thrown out of the way. It just looked like one of those nights where he was just going to physically dominate.
Well, and the way you described the start of the game perfectly feeds into why he's the captain. He's sitting on the bench. He's watching this. He's been around a long time saying, hey, I have to do something to turn the ship. Yeah. And I think, first of all, it starts, as you said, physically just ragdolling players around the ice and then getting rewarded with the big first goal of the game. But I agree. It was almost like the Hurricanes came out in the first period and said, we know they're going to get a push here, so let's just withstand it. Where instead of withstanding and almost pushing back a little bit, you almost got two back on your heels. You know, if you go down 1-2-0 early in that game, you're going uphill hard all night long against a Flyers team that now has confidence in their own building. And I've also said this to a lot of people, Adam. Everyone asks me that, oh, the best team always wins. I said, well, yeah, the best team usually wins, but it's also a team who gets some breaks, who gets some bounces. And as you mentioned, they had those in the first period with 2 posts, I believe. But then you also get some crucial saves at key moments, as Freddie Anderson did once again tonight.
Yeah, and Jacob Slavin sweeps the Ristolainen offer late in the period off the goal line. I mean, there was a lot of wild things happen in this game. Shane Willis is joining us here on the Canes Corner podcast. Was the officiating, did they know that the playoffs are supposed to be just at least a little bit different than the regular season? It looked like they wanted to call everything tonight.
Yeah, it's been back and forth every night that I've watched different games around the league, Adam. One night they're calling everything, the small touches on the hands, guys are going to the box. And in my opinion, you're always going to get different variations of these calls. But I do agree with, at least they've been consistent, right? So it wasn't all these penalties in the first period, then they went away. Tonight, the officiating called everything, but at least they called it all night long. And for the most part, from everything I saw, got it right. You know, trying to control tempers, trying to control the scrums. Carolina got rewarded out of the one scrum. Then the next time he took both players. So there were a ton of calls tonight. And again, as a player, as a power play guy, you probably like it if you're going on the power play 9 times. But for everyone else, you're like, I'm just trying to get into this game. I'm trying to get into the flow. And the Hurricanes are always best when they're flowing 5-on-5, rolling shift after shift. And I think that's really, they got the boost tonight from the power play, which they haven't in a lot of games, being the first goal of the game. But that energized their 5-on-5 game for the rest of the first period into the second. And you always have to give credit to the penalty kill when they do a job like they did once again tonight.
All right, let's talk about the penalty kill. We're talking about the penalty kill. We're gonna wait on the shorthanded goal because I want to talk about the 5-on-3. Which, by the way, Rod got for. I mean, I actually thought he was right. I don't understand how. I think it was the Jarvis Konechny exchange where Jarvis gets the penalty for the high stick, which I get. But why did Jarvis, he didn't swing the stick. He just sort of flung his arm around. But why did that happen? It's because Konechny hit him after the whistle, after Jarvis was held on the second shorthanded try. That was after the Chatfield goal. And Rod takes the bench minor. He says, normally you get a warning. You didn't get one there, whatever. But the 5-on-3, I mean, Philly had one chance in the 5-on-3, one shot. It was at the very end of it. And now this is almost 5 minutes of being down 2 men so far in the playoffs. And the Hurricanes have given up no goals and just 4 shots.
When I look back at that 5-on-3, I agree with you. I mean, if a referee is going by the law, at all times you have to control your stick. And Jarvis's stick whips around and hits him in the mouth. But I agree, it was because he was hit from behind. But it's even up at that point. But what I love about this team, and we always talk about culture, and you're trying to define that or show somebody that of what that means. This play means a lot to me when you talk about the culture and how tight this team is. Because Rod Brind'Amour sticks up for his team. He goes after the ref. He gets the 2 minutes. In turn, what does his team do? Step up and absolutely dominate a 5-on-3 against, killing off both those penalties to then go down and score a shorthanded goal. Like, that's what inspires me the most about this team. Every time they respond to each other, no one ever is like, oh, why would he do that? Why would he do this? Right. Rod's going to go after the referee and stick up for his team all the time. I hear him talk about it all the time, and players respect that. And they just jump up and immediately go out there and dominate in the second period. You could look at a number of key turning points in the game, but I think obviously what we're going to go to next, the Chatfield shorthanded goal, was the big swing, in my opinion.
And there's where we can talk about the other captain. Yeah, Jordan gets Stahl gets the assist across to Chatfield and a great finish. But it's a face-off loss that Martinook turns into a turnover and a secondary assist. It's really the most important play on the entire goal when he just dives desperate, pokes the puck out, and I'm not really sure what Philly's doing there. But I don't know how Jordan Stahl beats everybody down the ice of the puck, but the play's made by Martinook.
And I think when we look at the National Hockey League, we love watching, the history of the game, the skill of the game, and how it's grown. And now these young players are off the charts with their skill. But nothing beats a hard-working play and hard-working shift as Jordan Martinook showed on that play. If you go back and watch it from the puck drop, just watch what this guy does to help his team win games. It's not the flashiest. It's not jumping off the page. He's not going to be on the front page of the paper tomorrow. But as you're coaching your teams, I talk about youth players all the time. If you're coaching a young player, or maybe a guy who's, maybe he's ranked in the 4th round or the 3rd round, you want to move to the 2nd round, start doing things like that. and those are things coaches and scouts notice, and it goes a long way, in the teams that have it, but especially here for the Hurricanes and Rod Brind'Amour every night because of those leaders and purely that work ethic across the board. And that's not just Jordan Martinook. We get to go up and down this lineup and point out players that do this on a nightly basis.
Shane Willis is joining us here. Yeah, I've talked about Jordan Martinook so many times about what he means, and there are so many intangibles. There's a lot of tangibles, right? I mean, just the way he plays is a tangible because he's an aggressive player and he's a smart player. He's a great defensive player, and the effort he always plays with. I mean, it's just it's constant. But it's not a coincidence to me that the Hurricanes have become this team since his arrival. Not that he's the only one, but he just, again, like Jordan Stahl and others, he embodies what the Hurricanes are about. And I think he is the culture. I think he is the heartbeat of this team. I can't imagine him. I mean, maybe one day he'll play for another franchise, but I can't imagine it. I remember when they traded for him. I've told the story so many times, but I don't know if you've heard it. When the Hurricanes traded for him, Mike Sondheim texted me, "Do you want Martinook on the show?" And I'm like, I don't even know who he is. I didn't know who he was. It's sort of embarrassing that he's only been in the league 3 or 4 years or so with Arizona, but I mean, this guy is Carolina's culture to me.
Yeah, and it starts at the top with Rod, obviously. Yeah. When you have it starting with the coaching staff, and you can go up to the manager and the way this organization is run, but everyone buys into a certain way. And when you come in the room, it's more about the type of person you are and being great people off the ice, number one for Rod. But then you're going to obviously look at number one, your work ethic. Everyone can have the most skill in the world, but if you don't outwork the guy across from you, you're not going to win many games. Yep. And every player in that locker room understands that. And when you have the buy-in of every player, you can go around the league and there's a ton of teams that you say, do we have buy-in from every player? The answer is going to be, well, no. Yeah. But the difference of this organization was that if you're not going to buy in, you're not going to be here. And I think if you look in that room, you have 22, 23 guys that are fully bought in, whether they're in the lineup or not. Yep. You can go in the locker room with guys who are scratching and watch them work out and see if they go after it. And that's the key thing I think that Rod Brind'Amour has at his fingertips. He has 23 guys that are all in. Not, I'll give you half today. It's never that. And I think once you have that, you have a team that can win because you're going to be in every single game.
A couple of more quick things, and we'll let Shane Willis go. We're all up way past our bedtime. 8 o'clock starts, man. I hate them. We're going to get a lot more of these is when we get to the next round. I'm assuming Carolina will win one of the next few games with Philadelphia. I'd love to close it out on Saturday. I know he got on the score sheet twice. He had an assist on the stall goal, and he scored the power play goal. Great shot off the inside of the right post, low on the post, and off the skate of Ladarin in. But I thought this was a very, very representative game of what Andrei Svechnikov can do. Puck retrievals. I thought he was a very, very impactful player, to use Rod Brindamore's word. But that's the way I looked at Andrei tonight, even without the points.
Yeah, I've liked his game over these playoffs, even though he hasn't been dominating on the score sheet. I've just liked the way he's played a big, physical, strong game. He's created some chances, and, probably not so much last game with the penalties he was taking, but you look at the bounce back and there was a conversation between Rod and Andrei, just getting him back on the tracks, doing these things right. You're going to get rewarded. And the past few days at practice, I've seen Andrei on the ice early, taking that shot that he scored on tonight, working on his one-timer because the seam pass is there on the power play, and they find it tonight where he scores. So the hard work and the mental aspect, I think, for Andrei Svechnikov has been there through the playoffs, but he gets rewarded tonight. And now you look at this, does this springboard the chemistry back in this line? Because with Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov, you really get everything going. And the broadcast even talked about it tonight. The Hurricanes have been winning with just a Stankoven line. You get everything rolling with Jordan Stahl, with Svech, Aho, Jarvis, Martinook, even drop down. The Jankowski-Robinson line have had a ton of chances.
Yes, they have.
And so it's almost like the water's just building at the dam, and it's about to break at some point. The Hurricanes get an early lead Saturday. I expect them to blow it out. But, that's the positive. You look at every game. But even when you don't get on the score sheet, I think that's always now a focus for me when I'm critiquing games. Did he have an effective game? Was he a part of this team winning? And I think you could still have said that about Andrei's game in the first six.
Yeah, I think I loved his game tonight. And I know Carolina took a whole, 5 penalties is still too many. Part of that is the way they called the game. Hurricanes 35 out of 37 killing penalties. And and final thing is it's got to be demoralizing. If you're if you've had, it's 37 power plays in 7 games. We're talking about more than 5 a game, at basically 5.2 a game. Actually, 5.4 a game, right? 5.4 a game over the course of the first, 7 playoff games. Philly has 1 power play goal in this series. That's got to be demoralizing.
And you look at their roster that is now continually getting more injured, right? You lose your best shooter in Owen Tippett, in my opinion, on their team. Now Noah Cates was out tonight. It's hard because you're looking for instant chemistry of guys who maybe haven't been on the power play that much. Right. And they've struggled the whole time. And when it continues to struggle, it's very tough to pull out of. We see that with Carolina's power play earlier in the season, Adam, how long it took to really get back on track. And it's funny how I've seen these playoffs, because I looked at the first round, and it was very similar to years past, of where Ottawa was Carolina and Carolina was Florida. You just couldn't figure out how to win those tight games. Carolina's now figured that out. Now we get into this round. Carolina continues to play well. Their power play is scoring big goals.
Yeah.
Which that didn't happen against the Florida Panthers the past couple of years, and now it's happening to Philadelphia. Everything in this script continues to turn in a positive direction, I think, for the Hurricanes, of the things they've seen over the past 7 years, and where this team sits tonight at a dominant 3-0 lead in the second round of the playoffs.
All right, Yoda. I thank you very much for your time. I think the hoodie looks great.
Yeah, it's anytime after 9:30, the hoodie's up, the glasses are on, so we got to go dark. I almost turned the lights off. I actually, would have been better.
That would have been great. You could have had a little light here. You would have looked like Al Davis or Palpatine.
I've been using the Force to keep these eyes open the whole time.
Hey, thank you very much, Shane. I appreciate your time, man. I'll see you later.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing. It was late. We have too much to do after games.
Yeah, love the 8 p.m. weeknight start. It's always great.
We're good. Next round, they're basically all going to be that, right? Remember the 8 o'clock start that begat the 4 overtime game.
Oh boy, one of the few I haven't worked over the last couple of years.
I don't want that. But I look forward to the conference finals. We just got to get one more win. All right. When we come back, we will stretch and place bets. I'm on a little bit of a dry spell. We got to get right. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and here is proof of why. FanDuel giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build, more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, every moment, spreads, player points, threes, more. Build it all into one same-game parlay. Go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays during the NBA postseason, do it on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. Get started. FanDuel for the NBA playoffs all the time. An official partner of the NBA. FanDuel. Play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from auto body shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
You don't build a tradition overnight. You earn it.
The Coca-Cola 600's underway.
This is a crown jewel race. It's a 600-mile salute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
It's do what we love because of the sacrifices that were made by our military heroes.
If you win this one, you'll carry it with you forever.
It's NASCAR's toughest test of man and machine.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Measles is spreading in North Carolina. It's highly contagious and can make infants and children very sick. Pneumonia, brain swelling, long-term health problems, hospitalization, and death can occur. Protect your child with the MMR vaccine. It provides lifelong protection. Serious side effects are extremely rare. Millions of children are safely vaccinated each year. Insurance covers the cost, and free vaccines are available. Make sure your child is up to date. Talk to your doctor or visit ncdhhs.gov/measles. Paid for by NCDHHS.
Hi, I'm Cherie Sample Hughes, Women in Government Board Chair. Alzheimer's disease often starts subtly with a memory slip, lost word, or forgotten appointment. For patients experiencing memory and thinking issues, there are FDA-cleared blood biomarker tests that can help detect the buildup of proteins in the brain that can lead to the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. That's why early detection and diagnosis are so important. Sharing details about your memory and thinking issues with your doctor can help determine if testing is right for you. Find more at womeningovernment.org.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right? Inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max Gorin is producing the program. Bill Meltzer covers the Flyers for their website. Will join us next hour. We have a rewind. Also, Martin Biron, former Buffalo Sabres goalie, will join us. We're all feeling very good about 3-0 series lead. And, once this thing wraps up on Saturday, for those people who are like, man, we need to talk about something else, we're going to have like a week of it. A week of, what are we doing here?
PGA Championship coverage next week.
Very, very excited. Going to an old school track in suburban Philadelphia at Aronimink. Very nice. Doesn't that smell like a Justin Rose?
With his new McLaren irons?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, aren't they like a Formula One team?
It's
IndyCar team?
It's just a car brand. Like they make like really high end like luxury or like supercars.
Yeah, not really a fan of when players change
Anyway,
equipment.
they get a new set of Mercedes irons.
Not really a fan of when players change equipment, but hey, look, we'll see. Especially
a player as good as Justin Rose, who like has been really close to winning majors like each of the last like 5 years.
A huge fan of Justin Rose.
I'm Team Rose for sure.
One of the classiest guys in professional golf. All right, let's stretch.
All right, we talked about a Guinness World Record. I believe it was yesterday. We talked about the guy who pulled a truck with his neck.
With his neck, yeah.
That was impressive. This is not as much of a feat of strength, but rather more kind of finesse and skill.
Mm-hmm.
An Idaho man set a Guinness World Record.
Idaho man.
By balancing a skateboard on his chin for over an hour. I don't know how you figure out you're good at this, but David Rush, who has previously broken several records involving balancing objects on his chin, has decided to attempt the skateboard record after learning the category had been created but not yet set. So this was...
All right, then.
This is a world record someone had the idea for, hey, longest time balancing a skateboard on your chin. No one has the record, but, like, what if somebody did that? Well, apparently this guy in Idaho, David Rush, decided he would take a crack at it. Right away, he discovered...
How long is it? How long? Do we know how long?
Well, it was over an hour. It looks like he managed to balance the board for an hour, 1 minute, and 36 seconds.
Wow.
He took on the record during a break from a pickleball session at the YMCA in Boise.
Was he balancing a pickleball paddle on his chin?
I wonder if that is one of his records. I'll have to see if I can find his full repertoire of world records. But how do you even find out about these? Like, maybe I need to look into some of these.
No, you
world
don't.
records that someone had an idea for, but no one set the record. Like,
yeah, you don't need to find out about it.
He said a friend with a large skateboard collection allowed him to borrow one that had a flatter edge, so it wasn't as pointy, because he said 30 seconds with most was intensely painful. So he got one with a flatter edge that met size and weight requirements, then managed to balance the board again. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 36 seconds. So if you want to set a world record, balance a skateboard on your chin for 1 hour, 1 minute, and 37 seconds. And the Guinness Book of World Records will be there to award you. But yeah, that is. I just don't understand how you get into that. How do you get into that?
Boredom, extreme boredom, and there are people who just get off on inventing things that could get them into the Guinness Book of World Records.
I guess that's true. I mean, if he has 350, then it's certainly not his first rodeo. So.
No.
Shout out.
He's going to balance a rodeo on his chin.
Shout out to Mr. Rush for his latest record.
Excellent.
And now we will rush over to the betting window of another great transition to place our bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
A world record I won't be setting will be for competitive eating, because I actually entered the wing eating contest at the watch party last night.
Oh, did you?
For the Canes game. I was like most of the way through wing number 2, and whoever won, he was done. 10 wings.
Really?
10 wings. It couldn't have been more than a minute. It was pretty
Well,
impressive.
you made the mistake of actually eating it as opposed to inhaling.
I don't know how it was possible, but shout out. I think the guy's name was Tyler. I may be wrong, so if you're listening to this,
way to go,
sorry,
Tyler.
But congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, you go first. That's the way we were.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 games in the NHL tonight. Montreal and Buffalo, 7:10 start. Anaheim and Vegas will be the nightcap. I'm going to go with Buffalo to make it a 2-0 series at home. They're minus 132.
They are. Here's what we're going to do, because I don't like that's not value to me. Give me Montreal over 5.5. I think the Canadiens are going to even the series. And then both a Yurov Slavkovsky and a Tage Thompson goal. And that is plus 1570.
In the late game, Vegas and Anaheim, I'm going to go with Pavel Dorofeyev, anytime goal scorer, plus 190.
I like that.
One of the more underrated goal scorers in the NHL. I think maybe a little bit overlooked.
Scores against the Hurricanes all the time.
Exactly, and I believe he is a restricted free agent heading into this next offseason. So something to monitor out there in the desert. I think he adds to his goal total tonight with a goal plus 190.
All right, Anaheim takes a 2-1 series lead on Vegas tonight. We're going to go under 6.5 goals. Chris Kreider, anytime goal scorer. Ivan Barbashev, anytime goal scorer for Vegas. That is plus 98.60. There's a 50-cent wager out there for somebody for that.
I'm not sure how this line came to be, but the Knicks are underdogs against the 76ers tonight.
Really?
So I'm going to go with the Knicks plus 102 to take a 3-0 series lead against Philadelphia.
Wow, how are they dogs to the Sixers?
Someone must be hurt or something. I don't know. Or
Embiid's
coming back.
OG Anunoby has a hamstring issue. I don't know if I don't think he's playing tonight.
I don't know if Embiid's in, but that just seems like good value there based on how it's played out so far.
All right, Aston Villa is already headed to the Europa League championship match in a couple of weeks. And they're probably going to finish in the top 5 of the Premier League. So they're going to Champions League football. But they're losing at Burnley tomorrow. So give me Burnley, J.J. Watt's squad, plus 430 to pull off the upset at home over Aston Villa. Villa's basically mailed in the run-in of the Prem, so that's my pick.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Need more Stanley Cup Shatter Canes fans? Listen afternoons with Adam Gold and The Drive for our Cup Check-In, served up by Carolina Ale House. We talk with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup Check-In on 99.9 The Fan, served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House for the official Carolina Hurricanes viewing parties throughout the playoffs. Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes to see the schedule.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-296-6868. That's 800-296-6868.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
It's Bo time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with Bo Rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
McNeil flops up a three and connects left corner. McNeil fires a three, got it far corner, falling down. It's a 2-point game.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Max is here. Bill Meltzer covers the Flyers. He's going to join us in about 15 minutes. 2 games tonight. You've got Montreal and Buffalo, the early game, Vegas and Anaheim, the late game. That'll be games 2 and 3, respectively. And then, of course, tomorrow, Carolina, Philadelphia, game 4. Probably the last game, Colorado, Minnesota. That series could end quickly, too. As good as Minnesota is, they are missing their best two-way center in Joel Eriksson-Ek.
I'd say just their best center in
general.
His
best center, right. And they're missing also Jonas Brodin, who's their best lockdown defensive player. And when you miss guys like that, it puts players in positions where they're not good enough. And I would say that Minnesota, their lineup is excellent, but it's top-heavy, certainly on the back end. Man, it's a lot of stress to put on Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber because really after those two guys, they're a little bit thin. They are just too thin. They needed to be at full strength to beat Colorado because Colorado's got their own issues. I think they've been without Josh Manson and Brent Burns' defensive play. It looks like it's fallen off a little bit here at the end. Their forward group is elite.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point on the back end, it's a little bit choppy for them.
Yeah.
So.
And Minnesota, I think, has needed more out of Kirill Kaprizov, especially given he's about to be making it's $16 million kicking in next year. Yep. He did score in that last game. Yeah. He had the quick response, like 6 seconds.
6 seconds after
Colorado's first goal.
Natchez' goal.
They've just needed a little bit more scoring out of him. I really like Kirill Kaprizov's game. He's not only like a high-skill guy that can score, but you see him go into corners. Yeah. He wins puck battles along the wall and retrieves the puck really well. Yeah. But he's needed to score a little bit more, especially now that there's some key pieces that are not going to be playing. So he's really got to step up in these home games for them to be able to potentially climb back in this series.
Yeah, I think it's in many ways it's also a team that there's a pretty wide gap between their top and their next, right? Especially without Joel Eriksson-Ek. It's a really, really good team.
Especially considering like a lot of people coming in were talking about how their center depth is kind of questionable.
Yeah.
When you lose Eriksson Ek, it's like, all right, well, we got Ryan Hartman and they got Michael McCarron, who they traded for to be the fourth line center, and they have what's the guy's name? Yurov that plays down there on the third line with Tarasenko.
He's a good player.
He's a solid player, but again, like that center ice position, and how many times have we heard this narrative about the Hurricanes in years past about how they don't have enough centers? So it's going to be hard for them to get over that hump, and they're looking at the 2-0 deficit, but they say the series doesn't start till you lose at home. So
that is what they say.
If
and
they ever eventually play that game tomorrow, Game 3, then maybe we'll see if the series has started or not.
Honestly, it's a must-win. They're not. They're probably not coming back anyway. But Game 1 was the game that they needed to win. When all of a sudden you're pouring in goals and you had a lead, but their goalie wasn't good either. It's not that they were bad. It's like you got to get one of those you can save. And they were bad goals, I thought, both ways. All right, Bill Meltzer again will join us in about 10 minutes. Right now, Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
Why don't we start in the NBA? So it's sort of a running joke. You want your team to not win, just trade for James Harden. Myron Metcalf covers the sport for ESPN. It's a you problem.
Through 2 games in this series. Like, you bring him on because you think he's the answer to making you a contender. They also brought him along because they want to convince Donovan Mitchell to stay in Cleveland and sign a big extension, which I don't think that's going very well. I don't think you sideline him down the stretch. I don't know what your option is. You're kind of stuck with James Harden. This is what you agreed to. I blame the people who thought this would be different. I don't blame James Harden. I don't blame Kenny Atkinson. I blame fans who thought for some reason James Harden was going to show up as a different player in the postseason. This is exactly who he is and who he has been. Why did we expect something else?
Wait. Did we blame fans?
I maybe not the right word, but
we blame fans?
I think he's maybe saying, like, you shouldn't have had any expectations for him. It's not the fans' fault that they traded for James Harden.
Right. But not that you need my endorsement of an idea, but I've said this for weeks. More than that, you want to guarantee that you will not win? Trade for James Harden. Like, I realize that this is going to sound haterish, but I just think that he is not that player. And especially in a prominent role, James Harden's most effectiveness as a winning player, because nobody is denying the numbers he puts up. Nobody's denying that. But as a winning player, his effectiveness was when he was coming off the bench for Oklahoma City. It's a long time ago. And he's going to go into the Hall of Fame because statistically speaking, he's an elite player.
Yeah, at his peak when he was playing with the Rockets, I think he had one season where he was averaging like 36 points per game.
He has been a machine. But he's a machine to a point. He's a machine that doesn't win. Ultimately, your legacy, these players' legacies, are made by winning championships. I don't see it happening for James Harden.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Although I thought the Cavs are a good roster. It's not
really unfortunate.
Their chance was that, I think it was 2017. It was the year that they went to Game 7 with the Warriors, and then the Rockets missed like 27 three-pointers in a row or something like that.
Chris Paul was on that team, wasn't he?
I think that was pre-Chris Paul.
Was it pre-Chris Paul?
With the Rockets.
Oh, well, it's too bad. Well, not really. All right, let's get to J.J. Redick, who he had a lot of things to say last night after the Lakers' 18-point loss, back-to-back 18-point losses to Oklahoma City. It was some strange stuff about he said it was that LeBron gets the worst whistle of any superstar he's ever seen. I don't know if that's true or not.
He's never seen LaMelo Ball play.
I don't know if that's all true. All right, here's J.J. Redick. The bigger issue for him was that when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was off the court, they lost those minutes too.
I think it was minus 18 for you guys with SGA not on the floor. I know the refs part of that, but what do you attribute that to?
I'm just letting you know how the game was officiated. It's not that we didn't lose because of the refs. That's never the case. You don't lose because of refs. You lose because the other team outplays you. Oklahoma City outplayed us.
They shot 13 free throws, I think, in that stretch I'm talking about.
And a lot of them were fouls. But again, we're not putting 2 on the ball in that stretch. And so we've just got to be better, and we'll look how we can be better on both ends.
JJ did have a lot of things to say about the referees. And look, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know. But, I mean, Shea gets all the calls. I mean, if you get near him, it's a foul. They're going to put him on the line. And, I don't know, some level it's great for Oklahoma City. Maybe not great for the game or the league. All right, Jalen Chatfield and company. Chatfield, of course, the shorthanded goal that made it 2-1 last night. Going into Game 4 tomorrow, thoughts?
Just be locked in. Have a good recovery day tonight, tomorrow, and be really focused because, even like tonight, they started off hard. We got to be ready to step on the gas and full throttle and play for each other and have our best game in the series.
Travis Konechny, Porter Martone, Alex Bump. First 5 minutes. I mean, it could have been 3-0. Now, if the first goal goes in, we don't know what happens, blah, blah, blah. But there were 3 great opportunities to get in front of the game for Philadelphia. So, Carolina now, for the 6th time in 7 playoff games, did not trail for a second in those 6 games. Not for a second. And in Game 2, they trailed. They were down 5 minutes in. They were already down 2-0. They clawed their way back. They gave themselves a chance. They won. They won the third period, got it to overtime, and Taylor Hall ended it. We'll see what Carolina does heading to game number 4. And we will talk to Bill Meltzer of the Flyers website about Game 3 and Game 4 and where everybody goes from here next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WREL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Since it's a Friday, I'm looking at the forecast, and I think we're in luck for a weekend of riding. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and we finally made it to the end of the week, so it's time to de-stress a little with some motorcycle therapy. There is nothing like taking the bike out on a beautiful day, grabbing a bite to eat somewhere, taking in some scenes, and just forgetting about things for a while. But sometimes accidents can happen when you least expect them. So if you're ever in a wreck on your motorcycle, make sure to call my friends at Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're just like us. They're riders too, so they get it. They know the value of your bike, your gear, and the investment that you've made, and what it's like to go through an accident. The insurance company just wants to pay you the least amount possible. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
HIV is not a crime, or it shouldn't be. People living with HIV can do and live fully healthy lives
without risk of transmitting the virus to others.
But a different fear remains.
In 30 states, Americans are being imprisoned due to their HIV status.
It's time for the laws to catch up to science.
Join the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation to modernize outdated HIV criminalization laws. Go to etaf.org.
HIV is not a crime.
Campaign funded through the support of Gilead Sciences Incorporated.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
This is Adam Gold.
That's Frederick Anderson joking, believe it or not. Like, it's not great comedic timing.
Right.
But that is
It's
Anderson
there.
joking. You can tell. He's like, I'm not going to play your little games, but I know what you're doing.
Like when he was getting his award last season and he was on the ice and it just looked like he was walking through the park.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max Gorin on the 1s and 2s. Hurricanes 3-0 lead in the series over the Philadelphia Flyers. Bill Meltzer covers the Flyers for that team's website, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. We can big picture this, or we can narrow it down to the moments of game number 3. But where did it go wrong for Philadelphia last night? Was it not cashing in those 3 early incredible opportunities, Konechny, Martone, bump, or was it ultimately the power play in the end?
I think ultimately, because you're going to have chances that you don't score on, right? But the Flyers came in a pretty delicate situation, right? Because I think you have to look at, because every series takes on a personality, right? Game 1, the Flyers were thoroughly outplayed.
Right.
I can go back to a play early in the third period, though. At that point, they're down 2-0, and right off the hop, there's a carryover penalty, and the Flyers have a 2-on-1 opportunity. Actually, a great scoring chance on that. Sean Couturier created that. They didn't score on it. If you're coming back down another goal, you're still probably not going to win the game, but you feel a little better. Down by 2. It's actually 3-0 already at that point. So if you get a goal early in the third period and you're back, there's a conceivable route to get back in the game. Other than that, it was all Hurricanes. Game 2, Flyers got the 2 quick goals.
Yep.
Flyers had not scored a first period goal in the entire playoffs. So they scored the 2 quick goals in the first period, and they're winning still 2-1, entering the latter half of the third period. Okay, so the Canes tie it, and then in overtime, Philly was probably the one period in at least of the first two games that the Flyers were the better team was overtime of Game 2. Now, but you give up the goal. Scramble around the net because the Hurricanes are the more opportunistic team. So now the beginning of Game 3, as you referenced, the Flyers had 3 really good chances right off the hop.
Yep.
Don't score there. And actually late in overtime, Travis Konechny had a breakaway and he missed the net. I know they credited the shot on goal. Anderson got, I guess, part of his blocker on it. The puck was headed wide. He really missed the net. Konechny misses again early in Game 3. I mean, that's bad omen right there. But I mean, the Flyers, I think, went to intermission even though they're down 1-0. If you're okay, it's a bad bounce off the boards. That's going to happen, in this game. Second period, they tie it. Playing well. I really thought for the first 36 minutes of the game, or 36:59 actually, or 35:59 to, I guess, be more exact. The Flyers are right there.
Yep.
And then it all fell apart. You get a 5-on-3, you don't score, and then it's a 5-on-4, you give up a shorthanded goal. Now you're trailing again. And the Flyers completely, any semblance of poise, of discipline, went flying out the window. They were too worried about Taylor Hall's hit on Travis Sanheim. That is not the time to seek retribution. That's what an early season game is for next year at some point. That's certainly not trailing 2-0 in a series. That's not the time to start running around thinking just dumb penalties. I mean, the Flyers are shorthanded 9 times in this game, so they lost any opportunity to crawl back in the game. So it was the power plays. It was just the general special teams. I mean, the Canes were actually able to capitalize twice on it. I mean, the Flyers shot themselves in the foot over and over again. But they play right into Carolina's hands. Especially because the more frustrated the Flyers got, it started to look like Game 1 again.
Right.
Where the Flyers were adjusting their forecheck, actually creating some odd man rushes as in Game 2 and the early part of Game 3. I mean, when it was the rare times it was a 5-on-5, the Flyers were playing chase. So I mean those are all the things the Flyers have stacked up. Looking at for trying to avoid a sweep. And a lot of it's what the Canes doing, but just as much of it is what Philly's not doing.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia hasn't been good on the power play. Bill Meltzer covers the Flyers for the website, joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Flyers weren't good on the power play all year, so this is not anything new. The Hurricanes' penalty kill, which was elite against Ottawa, was a very good power play. Carolina was 20 out of 21 kills in that, including a whole bunch of 5-on-3 time. And they just picked up where they left off. There was a power play goal, and then the goal last night for Philadelphia was an extra attacker goal during a delayed penalty sequence. Yeah. So, and it was a great individual play by Trevor Zegras. But Carolina's penalty kill is the reason in many ways they beat Ottawa in 4 games, because it was so elite, and that has just continued. What I wanted to see from last night's game was... I wanted to see the referees treat it like a playoff game, and we didn't see that. The first bit, I could have argued that there should have been no penalties called in the first period, let alone 4. Yeah. I thought Travis Konechny threw himself on the ice. I thought there were soft penalties that they called on Philadelphia that put Carolina on the power play. Yeah. I thought Freddie Anderson dove. Christian Dvorak didn't deserve anything for whatever he did to Taylor Hall after that whole sequence was a joke. I hated the officiating last night.
The officiating was absolutely brutal. But it has been in pretty much every series.
That is true.
Hard
to argue that.
I think the standard officiating has been awful. I mean, last night they referees are a lot like umpires in baseball. You set a standard for what's a ball and what's a strike, right? If it's on the black or something. I know they have the replay now of that, but that's how you adjust to it. The referees came out as if they were going to let them play. And then they started calling just really ticky-tack infractions. And I agree with you right across the board. I would add to that the slashing penalty on Jamie Drysdale was just awful. That was not a penalty. I mean, if you're gonna call that a slash, then you'd be calling 40 slashes a game.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem, and that is the standard that they tried to set. And I think it was they had. I'm not going to say they lost. It seems like they lost control of the game, but the way to get control would be to police these things early. But I think they just did a terrible job overall. Bill Meltzer is joining us. The margins for me is where Carolina has won this. So it's the little plays. Yep. It's Martinook diving for a puck on the Jalen that leads to the Jalen Chatfield shorthanded goal. I thought the best player on the ice was Jordan Stahl last night, and Carolina, got better performances from, Andrei Svechnikov, and I mean, I don't blame Dan Vladar. I actually, if I went back to Game 2, and you and I haven't spoken since before the series, do we think Vladar should have had the Jarvis goal that tied the game?
I'm not even pinning that on him. I don't. I'm kind of going back through the series
because he got the glove to it. That's the only thing I would say, that he got the glove to it and he got a clean look at it. The only question is, was it deflected right off the shot, which may be.
Yeah, and then there are guys that are swirling around in front too. It's I mean, I obviously didn't like a save there. I don't put that really on him. I think it was on the goaltender. But the bottom line is though that because of the nature of the series coming in, where Philly's the underdog, they have to be more opportunistic, right? Yeah. And they haven't been at all. So I mean, you could go back to the shorthanded goal, Chatfield, and that was a great play that set it all up. But then you have a bad defensive decision where you end up with a redundant coverage there,
right?
And an open guy. Those kind of little mistakes will kill the underdog team, especially when you're not capitalizing on your own chances. So I think it has been in the margins, and sometimes there'll be a 50-50 puck. And the Flyers will have an opportunity to clear the zone or keep a play going, and they don't. Whereas the Canes have done those little things, those little details that add up to bigger things. Rick Tocchet calls it hitting singles before you hit a home run.
Yeah, he talked about it. He talked about it again last night. He was right, I think.
Yeah.
I think Rick Tocchet is a wonderful coach. I think the biggest difference between these two teams that Carolina's better players are better than Philadelphia's better players. I like many guys. There's a lot of like middle of the lineup, middle of like, and certainly you missed Noah Cates. Any chance that Owen Tippett can draw back in for tomorrow at 6:00?
Well, I was at practice on Thursday. He did practice mostly on his own, and he took morning skate yesterday. So I think he's going to try. I mean, in this situation, like it's now or never, right?
Right.
So I think that, but it might be a situation where you might make the injury worse, and then you're dealing with something that's going to linger in the off season, and you have to add the cost benefit of it. And I mean, the biggest thing was watching him skate in the Penguin series. It got progressively worse. He was falling down like he was Scott Hartnell. Hartnell down. It was Owen down because he must have fallen 5, 6, 7 times, which isn't like him. So he clearly not digging into the ice because he was losing his edge over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a good player, and his history has been very good against Carolina. Final thing for Bill Meltzer. What is the path back? Is it obviously you have to figure out a way to extend the series to Monday in Raleigh, but how do they go about doing this? We did see in Game 1 that when it seemed apparent that it was going sideways They came off their discipline then. I thought they did that last night. Again, the officiating was terrible, but they have to be. They can't go to the penalty box. They can't do that. And frankly, they shouldn't send Carolina to the penalty box either, because that hasn't been good. Carolina's penalty kill has actually been more offensive than Philadelphia's power play.
Power plays. No, I completely agree. In fact, I thought the turning point in that first period was the Flyers' first power play, because the Flyers were having the better of the play at 5-on-5 when they had their first power play. It was a momentum killer, and I didn't think that they were able to kind of get the engine started again to the second period. Through the delayed penalty goal up to the fouled 5-on-3 that ended up being a shorthanded goal against. So yeah, I mean, I think they almost wish they could decline. Decline their. I mean, honestly, not joking about it.
We've
really,
been there.
But the best thing about the delayed penalty goal, other than the goal itself, was not having a power play. Truthfully.
I mean, honestly, Hurricanes fans understand this, because there have been years where the power play was so bad that, can we just decline it? Can we just stay at 5-on-5?
Right. Yeah.
Totally get it. Well, I appreciate your time, Bill. I think we were all hoping, and maybe we still will, have a longer series. But I think yesterday, because I thought yesterday was the closest Carolina came to playing their A game. I think it got better. I thought Philly had the opportunity early. Really thought that if any of those first three could have gone and get in front, they have to get in front of the game. There's just no way they can chase Carolina. Carolina right now playing too well when they get their nose in front.
Yeah.
Bill, I appreciate your time, man. Always enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Anytime.
You got it. Bill Meltzer here from the Flyers website. All right, we'll come back. I want to read a couple of quotes, and I will tell you where the NCAA is going to get their money. Oh, and Martin, of course, and Martin Biron will also join. I love saying that. Former Buffalo Sabres goalie who one time, I don't know, the last time I think we spoke with him, he promised to come and hang out in studio if it's Carolina Buffalo in the playoffs. And I think that's where we're headed. We'll talk to Marty Biron a little bit. Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
As public power customers, we experience fewer outages and faster restoration than customers of other electric providers. But the benefits of having a locally owned electric system go far beyond unbeaten reliability. Our local public power employees support our community, providing electric hookups for events, installing and maintaining ballpark lights, holiday lights, traffic lights, street lights, and more. Local people working together to meet local needs. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
You don't build a tradition overnight. You earn it.
The Coca-Cola 600's underway.
This is a crown jewel race. It's a 600-mile salute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
It's do what we love because of the sacrifices that were made by our military heroes.
If you win this one, you'll carry it with you forever.
It's NASCAR's toughest test of man and machine.
It's the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend.
The Agricultural Institute at NC State University is preparing graduates for emerging trends in precision agriculture and food animal processing. Our students learn science, technology, and profitability to integrate into agricultural businesses. Experience cutting-edge research, innovative teaching, and tap into our statewide professional network. Invest in yourself and learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. Deadline for fall enrollment is June 1st. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
Turning 65 soon, navigating Medicare can be overwhelming and confusing, but you're not alone. The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program can help. SHIP counselors can help you understand Medicare benefits to make your best choices. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
If you want the nation's best auto insurer, look no further than North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Rated #1 in Crash Network's Insurer Report Card 7 years in a row, we're the only insurer in the nation to receive an A+ rating from Auto Body Shops. Our philosophy is simple: be fair, be quick, be the best. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Your child's doctor shares your goals: a healthy future for your child. Doctors recommend vaccines throughout childhood because they protect what matters most: your child's future from preventable disease and serious illness. Discuss any questions you have and check that your child is up to date and talk about any concerns. You're right to have questions. Get real answers. Start a conversation with your doctor today. Visit vaccinesforkids.nc.gov. Paid for by NCDHHS.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Are you a veteran looking to make a career change? The Department of Labor is offering no-cost employment workshops to help you. Visit DOL.gov, paid for by U.S. Department of Labor.
This is Adam Gold.
540.
Yeah.
Right, the big outer belt loop. Why don't we just call them inner loop and outer loop? Don't give me north, south, east. It changes. It's a circle.
Yeah, they should. They use it for belly buttons.
Right? Inner and outer.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Use it for belt lines.
All right, I'm done with the rant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Max is on the ones and twos. So you asked earlier, Max, whether the Hurricanes would start Freddie Anderson again, right, in game 4?
Yeah, whether there's a possibility they could put Bussy out there tomorrow.
So I'm just going to offer this. This is not a tell as to, I think it will be Freddie Anderson. The Hurricanes are not skating tomorrow morning. They're not doing a morning skate. 6 o'clock game. It's only an hour. They could still skate in the morning, but they are not going to do that. And so Rod Brindamore will not meet with the media until 3:30 tomorrow, and that's when I will speak with him in advance of the pregame show, which starts at 5, because we go on the air an hour before the game. The game starts at 6, so I won't know until, and I might not know. He might say, "Oh, we're not sure yet," because that's what Rod likes to do. I believe that not skating is designed to create the idea that it might not be Freddie. But I think it's going to be Freddie, because there's no reason to not start Frederick Anderson in that game. All right, so we talked about, Martin Biron is going to join us here in just a couple of seconds. We talked about this yesterday, about the expansion of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Women's tournament also expanding to 76. Same deal. All these extra games, man, who doesn't love more basketball? I love more basketball, but I want teams that make the tournament to have deserved to make the tournament, and I guess we'll just keep drawing the line at a different spot, and at some point we won't care. But, man, it was a completely unnecessary addition to this whole thing. We all know if you don't make the tournament now, you don't belong. And now we're going to allow another dozen teams into this. But just to make sure that you know how important it is, how important you are as fans, the NCAA is going to guarantee that they're going to make it financially worthwhile by increasing the amount of commercial time in each of the breaks. So already the commercial breaks are, I think, between 30 and 60 seconds longer, and they will get even longer now. So, joy. Joy! My gosh. My gosh. It's time for Martin Biron. The one and only Martin Biron joins us on the Adam Gold Show. I am looking forward to it. We are closer to getting there than the Buffalo Sabres, but I am confident that we are going to see a Carolina-Buffalo Eastern Conference Finals. Before we get into Frederik Andersen and a whole bunch of other things, I hope you're still coming down when we get to this point, because we are going to have a blast in the next round.
Well, I don't want to put the cart or the wagon, as they say in Buffalo, because this team is a wagon in Buffalo, but I don't want to put the wagon in front of the horses. There's a long series here between Buffalo and Montreal, and obviously with Carolina taking a 3-0 lead last night, it looked good for the Hurricanes. But I told you, I mean, those teams that, Carolina, Buffalo, Montreal, in my opinion, were the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, and they look like it, right? Yeah. So that's what is fun, and it's playoff hockey, and you get going.
Martin Biron is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, let's just start with where Carolina is. 7-0 in the playoffs. Ottawa, I thought, was very good, and they were a tough opponent. They just weren't quite as deep, and obviously when they're injured on the blue line the way they were, it was always going to be a problem. But how much of this is the way Carolina is playing, and how much of this is, let's say, Philadelphia just not being ready for this?
I'm going to give credit to the Hurricanes. Look, I mean, I know it was a tight series against the Ottawa Senators, and Linus Ullmark, the goalie of the Sens, was fantastic to keep it close. But Carolina, they find different people to step up almost every game. You got the Stankoven and the Hall and the Blake line that has been fantastic in the first round, and now you finally get, Svechnikov to score a goal. Jordan Staal had a fantastic game in Game 3 with the power play goal and the shorthanded assist. It looked like Philly is going to, be coming back. They got a power play. Is it going to be a 5 minutes or 2 minutes? It ends up being a 2. I could have seen a 5 on that play. But anyway, I'm just saying, Philly has a chance, and Carolina and Jordan Staal say not so fast, and boom, right? And so I think that's the key right here, is that even through the Ottawa series, somebody else is stepping up for Carolina, and they are the much better team right now than the Flyers. Look, not saying the Flyers did what they had to do. It was impressive they got in the playoffs with the way they finished the year. It's impressive that they beat Pittsburgh, their cross-state rival, but it feels like they're running out of juice, running out of gas right now against the Hurricanes.
No doubt about it. All right, let's talk about Frederik Andersen. I watched Freddie play 30-some-odd games this year. There might have been 2 or 3 games all year where he looked like a goaltender that could carry you in the playoffs. It wasn't a good year. Something happened, a switch flipped when the playoffs began, and this is the best version of him. A little bit lucky, but you have to get a little bit lucky. It's the best version I've ever seen of this guy so far.
You know what? I'll say this. Yes, there's luck involved, but every goalie will tell you make your own luck. You work to get the lucky bounce. And yes, there was plenty of lucky bounces against the Ottawa Senators in the first round. Like Tim Stützle with Ottawa hit probably 5 posts and pucks behind Freddie Andersen and could not get a goal. And last night, in Game 3, you see Konechny with a post. You see Porter Martone with a post. You see a puck that's on the goal line where Slavin pulls it off. But the one thing that I'm seeing out of Freddie Andersen now that maybe you don't see in the regular season, because it's you play a game, you get on to the next one, he's battling, he's fighting. Like that one play in the second period where he got bumped in his crease, the stick is upside down, he gets the stick back, he makes the save. I'm like, whoa, this is Freddie battling like he's possessed right now. And that's great. Like, you want to have success in the playoffs, you can play your game, or you can play your game, plus, plus, plus. And right now we're seeing Freddie Anderson play his game plus, plus, plus. He's actually it's an early stage, but I'm looking at, okay, who would be a Conn Smythe right now if the playoffs were ending? I think it would be Freddie Anderson. I don't think it'd be anybody else. Last night, his save percentage goes down despite the fact he only gave up a goal. I mean, his high danger save percentage right now, the most dangerous shots that he faces is .908. The league average is .908 in the playoffs. His most difficult save is what other goalies are doing, the average of all the shots that they're seeing. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Freddie Anderson has been tremendous. I remember the play. He had dropped the stick and he picked it up and he was holding it upside down. And I'm not sure he got a piece of the Alex Bump shot or not. But just the fact that he was I don't know. It was just the most bizarre thing.
If you just lay there, if you don't fight, he's not going to miss the net, right?
Right.
That's what you have to fight. If you don't fight, guys are not going to hit the post. If you don't fight, they're not going to miss the net. They're going to see holes and they're going to score. But when you fight, and look, I played with Dominic Hasek in Buffalo, and I played against Tim Thomas, and those two were like on another level of unorthodox fighting for every puck. And I'm not saying Freddie Anderson has to be Tim Thomas or Hasek, but he's got to he had to get a little bit more jump in his game, and he's found that in the playoffs.
It's been awesome to watch, and he's even dished out a couple of hits. The hit on Travis Sanheim from Game 2 is still one of my favorite things that I have ever seen Anderson do. Like, he anticipated the contact and just said, I'm going to deliver this shot before I get hit.
Yeah, and look, that's when a goalie's feeling it, right? And they start doing things that you're like, whoa, this is cool. At the same time, what I love about Freddie is he's mature enough and a veteran enough to say, okay, now I got to pull it back. I got to stay in my bubble. Because, I mean, Philly would love to get him off his game, would love to put more, bodies on him, to hit him after the whistle and do all those things. But you know what? He's mature enough, experienced enough to just pull it back a little bit when he needs to.
Martin Biron is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Real quick, just about some things that are not Freddie Anderson related. I mean, all year long, I have thought that we're seeing better and better from Keandre Miller. He made a couple of mistakes last night, I thought, early in the game, but ultimately played really well. And I think he is really energized even more by the way Carolina is playing. You can see a feistiness about him. But in Game 2, I'm not sure I've seen a defenseman play a better game than what he did in Game 2. He factored in on all 3 goals. He made so many great defensive plays, and even statistically, he was off the charts.
Yeah, so I remember watching a lot of Keandre Miller when he was with the New York Rangers, and obviously I was always a fan. And look, the guy's got size, he can skate, he's got great skills. I don't understand what the Rangers were thinking and saying, you know what, he's not part of our core guys moving forward. Like, you have a guy like this, you got to keep the guy like this. And Carolina came in and was like, you know what? We have a spot, let's go. And it fits perfectly. That defense group with the Hurricanes is amazing. I mean, we talk about Slavin saving a goal, but, Gus is there. Like, it's great to watch him play. I always liked him back when he was with the Flyers. And I think Keandre Miller fits perfectly. And when he's given the opportunity, and there was a time with the Rangers, he was given those opportunities, and it was like, this guy's going to be a stud, and now he's playing like a stud.
Yeah, it's been just tremendous. And Slavin had another great game. You mentioned the play that Slavin clears the puck off the goal line. There's a lot of awareness like that playing for Carolina. All right, let me ask you about your series, because I agree. I think Buffalo-Montreal, this was the series that I thought we would ultimately see in the second round on the Atlantic side. I think there's a lot of people that still don't want to believe in the Sabres, and I don't know why. I love everything about that team. They're getting good goaltending, and they have 2 options, and now they're using Alex Lyon. What do you like about the Sabres, and give me your read on where we are. I know it's only been 1 game. We're going to get a chance to watch a lot of this series because we might be done Saturday.
Yeah, and you'll pay closer attention to it if, the Hurricanes are to clinch and move on. because you'll want to pre-scout the opponent. So here's the thing with the Sabres and why they've been so good these playoffs is they've been able to adjust and adapt to whatever style of game. Like the Boston Bruins were trying to slow them down. They were playing like 1990 clutch and grab hockey with Buffalo in the first round, and the Sabres found a way to break through and to produce and to get the wins that they needed to. It wasn't the easiest start to the series. Game 1 and 2 wasn't great, but when they went to Boston, game 3 and 4, they found their legs, they found their way, and they were able to counter that. Now against Montreal, it's totally different. Montreal wants to play the up and down game, the rush game, the fast game. So now I think it almost fits better for Buffalo. The same way it probably fits better for the Canadians too, as opposed to what they face against Tampa. But in the first game, I felt like Buffalo was the better team, but not by that much. They were up 4-1 in the second period, but I think that Montreal, they came down a very emotional series against Tampa, and it took them 2 periods, like 40 minutes to get going a little bit. So I feel like game 2 is going to be very different, but right now the depth of the Sabres, the Benson, the McLeod, the Norris, the Doan, those are the ones that are really making a difference in what's happening in Buffalo and their series against Montreal.
Yeah, to me, Montreal is a counterpunching team. Like, they don't need the puck, but they're the high end of talent can make you pay for any mistake. But I love the way the Sabres are built. As long as Rasmus Dahlin is okay, we don't have any negative news on that front, do we?
No, we don't have any negative news. And he was part of the morning skate, and he said, it was sore, but he's not hurt, so he's all good. And yes, he's a big part. Biron has been fantastic.
Oh my gosh!
On the blue line, he's been amazing. But you mentioned the goaltending earlier. Look, Luukkonen had a really solid game 1 against Boston, and then he gave up a bad goal from center ice to Morgan Geekie in game 2. And Lyon came in, and the Sabres are comfortable going back and forth if they have to. They remind me a lot of the 2006 Carolina Hurricanes that had Martin Gerber and Cam Ward. And you saw them, both of them, in the conference finals when we played them in a 7-game series. And, they went back and forth a couple of times. So I don't think the Sabres will hesitate to go to Luukkonen if they have to. Right now, Lyon is playing great, and that's a big key to their success.
Martin Biron, I appreciate your time. I cannot wait for the next round. I'm confident that the Sabres will be there. I think Carolina has a pretty good chance to advance past Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Can't wait to talk to you guys. And, yes, let's keep the good times rolling.
Let the good times roll. How come we haven't heard that song yet, Max?
Maybe Monday.
That's right. We have one more day with Max Gorin. So you and I, and thanks to Marty Biron for coming in. We've already talked about the expanded NCAA men's basketball tournament. We know that at some point, very soon, the college football playoff will expand. And they're ultimately going to go to 24 because, of course, again, we're not going to get it. It's not going to be better. It's just going to be bigger. But at least that will create a lot more money because football is a license to print money. And by the way, just as a bit of promotion for next week, Bubba Cunningham is going to be on the program. I believe it's Thursday. We're scheduled for North Carolina's outgoing director of athletics. And he talked about a bifurcated system of college athletics in which certain athletes get paid and everybody else pays to play. Pay for play, the other way, probably not as appealing, right? But I do. We are getting to a point where this has nothing to do with what it was supposed to be, which was something that enhances the university, and we have allowed it to get to a point where this is just pro sports. And we might get to a point of diminishing returns where the people are turned off by it. We might. I don't know. Probably not, because we love people love football so much that it doesn't matter to them. I've talked for years that most people don't even recognize when the football is really bad because, man, it's football. Who cares? It's like bad pizza. There's really almost no such thing as bad pizza. It's pizza. But we're going to talk to Bubba about it next week. So the reason I bring that up is because we're going to run out of teams to fit into bowl games as we get more teams into the playoff. When we get to 24, bowl games aren't going away. You know why? Because ESPN needs programming. Between even with an expanded playoff, ESPN needs programming. So this is my favorite new "Why Are We Pretending" story. So the NCAA's Football Oversight Committee voted yesterday to adopt a proposal that will allow conferences the flexibility to choose 5 and 7 teams, which we already have now, that have met certain academic standards to fill bowl game availabilities if you have too many teams in the playoff. Under the proposal, if all deserving teams have been selected for bowl games and all schools that meet an exception other than the exception of 5 and 7 teams have been selected, a conference that has openings in their bowl allotment can choose 5 and 7 teams provided they have at least the minimum 930 academic progress rate required. Why are we tying academics to this? Why are we doing this?
They have to pretend that it still matters.
Exactly. That is the answer. Because they want to pretend that academics matters. And it doesn't. And that's the fraud of all of it. Because in the sports that aren't football and men's basketball and women's basketball, I guess, academics does matter. To the rest of the school, the academics do matter. But to those moneymakers, we know better than that. The whole thing's a shell game. I can't wait for next week. By the way, if the Hurricanes do have a Game 5, it'll be 7 o'clock on Monday. Do you think we're having a Game 5, Max?
No.
I don't either. But I'll see you Monday either way. I'm Adam Gold. That's Max Gorin. We'll see everybody after a great weekend. Bye.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel America.